Their rivalry is a product of football's high-flying era, the 1970s, where Hawthorn and the Kangaroos were the game's powerhouses. Regular September combatants, they met in 10 finals matches in just 5 years, and thus a rivalry was born.
The Hawks have had revenge on last year. They've won the 76 grand final.
Now, as the AFL celebrates its past, the Roos look uncertainly towards the future.
When you stand up and speak to them after the game, it doesn't hold much water when you keep telling them that they're playing pretty well and doing a lot of things right, but they haven't got reward for their work.
Narrow defeats in the first 2 rounds means victory today is essential against a Hawks team that shone while taking down the Demons on Easter Monday. From the Telstra Dome, it's the Kangaroos versus Hawthorn on Sunday Night Football. Live and exclusive on Fox Sports AFL.
Oh boy, it's a miracle from Deb! Superstar. The skipper's got a bag today.
Sunday Night Football comes to the Telstra Dome on what has been a fine Sunday in Melbourne. The crowd's rolling in, expecting a frenetic contest between two teams still harbouring aspirations of playing in September. Hi everyone, Clinton Gribus alongside of Gerard Healy with Danny Frawley and Rowan Smith joining us for the culmination of rivalry round of the AFL. And this Hawthorn team coming out now, led by their skipper, acting skipper Sam Mitchell. They were exciting on Easter Monday, Gerard, a 22-point win over Melbourne, just showing us portents of perhaps what's to come this year for the Hawks.
Couldn't recognise the side in round 2 from that which put on a lamentable display in round 1, but they moved on pretty quickly, and they'll go into this match, Clinton, full of hope, full of promise. Obviously, the late withdrawal of Trent Croad will hurt to some degree, but it gives Jared Roughead another chance, and you know, Jared really has to start making a name for himself. He was a high draft pick. There's a question mark on his pace, and he has to start taking big grabs and kicking some goals.
Their hardness at the football against Melbourne was what people were talking about, but their forward line was good as well. What do you like most about the Hawks?
Well, I do like their forward line. I think it's capable of kicking a winning score. I'd like to see Mark Williams play out of the square a little bit more. I don't think he's a sort of crumbing forward. He is that small full forward, and I think that's the way to play him. But with Boyle there, I think you do need a focal point. One can lead, one can stay at home, but Lance Franklin obviously is the boy that everyone talks about. But they also, like every other club, you need to get goals out of your midfield. The best thing about the Hawks is they're still on the way up.
Let's have a look at how the two teams have been selected to line up. As Gerard said, the late change, Trent Croad out, Jared Roughead coming in for this Hawthorn team. Mark Williams kicked 6 goals, 2 last week, so the matchup on him is going to be crucial. Tim Boyle kicked 3 goals. They've got Ben Dixon as well to provide some firepower, while across the centre half forward line they've got Lance Buddy Franklin.
Well, we know the story about Williams, but Boyle looked really good, much better than I've seen him play before. Been impressed with Pratt's emergence. He is going to be one who's going to end up as a sweeping half-back, but he's hard at the footy. Shannon Watt with a big job on Lance Franklin. I think the Mitchell-Harris lineup is going to be a very important one, and Jess Sinclair is in fact a player that is getting a hell of a lot of football, flies under the radar, but he does sweep back and plays that extra defensive midfield position.
The rucks are going to be interesting as well. Hamish McIntosh for the Kangaroos up against the Robert Campbell-Simon Taylor combination of the Hawthorn side. Daniel Wells in the midfield. The matchup for him will be crucial as well. At the other end of the ground, do you expect Lee Brown to start in the forward line as he has been named?
Yeah, I do. I think they've had to push him forward, and with the absence of their full forward, I think Lee Brown has just got to start taking the marks. I really like Lee's work rate, and I like his intensity around the footy. He's got a big body. He could play defence, but right now they need him to stand up. And you do see them come through the middle of the Kangaroos, and they're looking for that presence of a full forward. Well, we know Edwards is an inexperienced young kid in his second game, but he's a natural full forward, so he knows where to lead. He hasn't got the big body of a Thompson, but hopefully he just gives them a target. And it's amazing how many times you can get one like a Mark Williams to kick half a dozen goals.
Swallow, Sainsbury, Campbell and Hale, who will support McIntosh in the ruck for the Kangaroos, starting on the bench for Dean Laidley's men, while for Alistair Clarkson, Taylor, McGlynn, Guerra and Ellis will be starting on the interchange bench. You saw Corey Jones in that half-forward line for the Kangaroos. Kicked 4 goals last week, all of them coming in the second quarter. The Kangaroos coming out, well, they've been unlucky, haven't they? As Jared said, speaking pre-game with Dean Laidley, they've won 6 of the 8 quarters thus far, but don't have any premiership points to show for it, as Shannon Grant leads them out. The former Swan, who turns 30 next Thursday in his 200th game in the blue and white. A 3-point loss to Collingwood in the opening round, a 3-goal loss to Port Adelaide last week after being within a goal. They simply have to win today, the Kangaroos.
Oh, they've got a big chance. I think that they have played very good footy, as we said, without getting the score on the board. But you know what, Clint, that counts for absolutely zero today, because the Hawks, they're just as hungry for the 4 points, and they'll see this as one they just have to get. If you're going to be considered better than the sides, the Kangaroos, well, you just got to beat them. They'll get 2 opportunities. There's 8 points, and they would have factored in wins against the Kangaroos in the pre-season. Shannon Grant is a player that has been a great servant of the club, and good to see him duly recognised.
And Lee Brown, you mentioned earlier, he kicked 6 goals against the Crows round 1 of the 2004 season, and I guess we all thought back then the former Docker is really going to take the forward mantle and make it his, but just 8 goals last year from his 21 games, just 1 goal so far this season. So if he is going to become a key forward at 25, the time is now.
Not sure he's going to make the key forward post, but he certainly has to play the role until they develop others. The one I think that has got a chance of having a big impact on the match is David Hale. I think he can take grabs up forward. He is a mobile ruckman. He can go midfield and push forward. And they have to find just a better combination than the one that they've got at the present time. But most of all, they've got to convert their chances.
And Daniel Wells is always so exciting to watch as we have a look at David Hale there. The matchup for Daniel Wells, crucial, 23 possessions and a goal last week. He is exhilarating when he's at full flight.
Yeah, a lot of people are suggesting that perhaps Brad Searle will get that matchup. He did a pretty good job last week in that tagging negative role that we love so much, Clinton. But Daniel Wells is a match winner, and he's the most exciting player on the park, perhaps with Luke Hodge. And let's just hope he puts a big one on for us here this afternoon.
And another word on that Hawthorn forward line. I was speaking about it with Danny Frawley in our pre-game coverage. 3 goals for Tim Boyle last week. Yep. 23 years of age, but had a very, very much interrupted start to football.
Here's his style.
Take us through his goal-kicking style. You love this.
I do. He looks like he's got a pretty fluent style. It'll be nice to see the result. But we've kept that a secret. It doesn't really count in the pre-match.
And Mark Williams will be up alongside in that forward line.
And that is the style. This guy can kick the football.
He kicked six goals too last week.
Yeah. I think we're missing the best kick that I've ever seen in Sav Rocker. He just had the most magnificent style. But this bloke is so uncomplicated. He's a bit like Peter Dacos and Plugger. He only takes 3 or 4 steps. Looks casual. It's the Ernie L swing. And we just had some feedback from down on the boundary line. He hit the post with that one.
All clear and no rifle yet.
No, that's right.
He's put that away. It's going to be a terrific match, Sunday night football, as the Kangaroos search for their first win of the new season. The Hawks are 1-1, so it's a big game as they try to join that logjam of clubs with 2 wins and 1 loss after 3 rounds. Hawks won last start, Kangaroos won the last 5 before that, and Daniel Wells was on fire.
Campbell in the middle for the Hawks. It's the Roos who have lifted at this area. Oh my goodness! He'll get a speeding fine for going that fast.
Thompson.
Oh, Wells has got it! What magic!
Roof is closed for Sunday night football at the Telstra Dome in Melbourne. Crowd slowly building up as Adam Simpson and Sam Mitchell make their way to the centre for the coin toss. Fox Sports AFL live and active tonight for our digital subscribers as Sam Mitchell wins the toss. To the right of screen, the Hawks, the Coventry end for this opening term.
After Kane Johnson pointed the wrong way, we're actually a little bit gunshot here at Fox at the moment. We can confirm, though, that Sam Mitchell is heading right of screen.
Quite interesting, Clinton. Just before the bounce there, the Kangaroo players were arm in arm. Normally they're just in a bunch, Jared, but they were actually arm in arm in a big circle. So
big bonding going on here. They would have set themselves for this one, and it's okay to talk about it, Danny. You've been there as a player and as a coach, but at the end of the day, it's what happens between the white lines.
Spot on.
So who's the tips, boys?
Look, I'm going for the Hawks, just. They've got 5 of their probably starting 18 out, but I just think the confidence and the run they got in their game on Easter Monday will be enough to get them over the line tonight.
Well, I've got to say that I tipped the Kangaroos, and having said that, I'm not sure whether I'm tipping poorly or the sides I'm tipping are playing badly. It's a combination of both, I think. But Kangaroos have done everything bar win, and sometimes you're at your most hungry just before you get your first 4 points. But down on the boundary line, Smithy, this is one that the Kangaroos certainly just have to find a way of winning.
Certainly right, Jared. They don't want to be 0-3 at the end of the game tonight. One of the Hawthorn boys just actually had a shot at the football with me, but nearly hit me in the back of the head. But it's going to be a great game. It's a little bit warm inside Telstra Dome. It's 24 degrees, but perfect conditions down here.
Thank you, Rowan. A little bit of niggle already between Casey Green of the Roos and Jordan Lewis of the Hawks. Sunday night football is go. Enjoy it. Umpires Luke Farmer, Dean Margetts and Scott Jeffrey wide for sound. McIntosh going against Campbell early, and they'll do it again.
And Clinton Young, he is in the face of Daniel Wells from before the first bounce. He's blocking him away from the footy.
And the raw away from the action here was Ferrito pushing Mark Williams into the goal post. The goal umpire was alongside, and the boys have settled down now. So Ferrito alongside of Mark Williams in the Hawthorn attacking zone.
But the Kangaroos have got a spare man, Ferrito, and Williams hits the deck again.
Yeah, so that's going on behind the players. You see the Hawks try to get the clearance. Roughhead in the path of Crawford. Does well, gets it on for Grant Birchall. To the outer wing they go. This is Sewell after a big game last week. For the re-signed Luke Hodge, pumping it deep. Williams has got to beat three. Petrie stood his ground well. Play on is the call as Pratt for Rawlings, for Gibson. There's going to be a lot of heat on this game early, as you would expect to desperate football clubs. Green goes over the top for Lindsay Thomas, the first-year player. And Thomas is filled after getting rid of the football, so a downfield free will go to Pratt of the Roos.
Bonus for the Kangaroos and for Lindsay Thomas. He didn't quite hit the target, but Danny very concerned, the Kangaroos, about Mark Williams in the space.
No doubt. They've got Petrie free, which is Danny Jacobs up the other end free for Hawthorn.
Good build-up, loose man. And how could it be this man who's loose? In the opening 2 minutes of a football game, Daniel Wills with a shot at goal coming up.
And it looks like it's going to be that sort of game, Clinton, where the Kangaroos are starting an extra back, and so they're going to have some space there, and they're going to be hoping that if they can win the ball through the middle, they play the empty space, and you'll get the likes of Daniel Wells running towards the goal, playing the paddock style of football.
Third in the best and fairest last year, the 22-year-old. First kick at goal for the game is good. And the Roos strike first blood.
Well, that's the thing, Danny, that's been missing from their game over the last 2 weeks, and that's conversion. They've had as many set shots as opposition clubs, and yet they've missed 17 shots in the corridor inside the 50.
Well, you just got to take your opportunities. He gets a lot of the balls. We see Rick Ladson going to him now, so that's going to be a fantastic matchup. But if Wells gets pace like that for a quarter and a half, he can just tear the game open.
There's Mark Williams and Michael Ferrito. They've had a entertaining little personal duel over the opening couple of minutes.
Still got two spare players, the Kangaroos. Jess Sinclair is one and Petrie the other.
Brown starting defensively for the Kangaroos alongside of Roughhead. The ball coming out very, very slowly from that. Gibson is alongside of Tim Boyle as you check Danny Jacobs.
Yeah, Clinton, there's Danny Jacobs there, the free man for Hawthorn.
At the other end of the ground, Corey Jones being matched up by Campbell Brown. Brent Harvey's got Osborne alongside, and Gillam's gone to Edwards as Clinton Young drives the Hawks deep into attack, and there they are. And it's Drew Petrie. And he releases quickly for Sinclair in space on half-back. Rawlings is short, goes a little longer down the line.
Choice.
Dangerous to the wing, and it's an easy one for the Hawks to spoil away from Thomas for a throw-in. Good work by Grant Birchall.
Well, the Kangaroos have gone to school on the first game of the year, Jared, when Brisbane flooded.
Yep.
Then they've put Petrie back there just to try and stifle the Hawthorn run.
Was a target from Dean Laidley this week as Campbell knocking it down. Tight in the clinches. Crawford putting a tackle on. Umpire a long way away. Now runs in.
He's trying to move it on. It's bottled up front on.
Brady Rawlings, twice the best and fairest winner at Arden Street, including last year.
Lee Brown currently playing defensively as well because Jacobs is pushed forward.
Here's Franklin for Lewis.
Got him.
Brown with the tackle. Play on was the call as Young was brought down. Oh, Lewis now going with Green. Have a look at that. Bit of smackdown action, and the hold is paid.
Kangaroos free kick.
Now,
Well, it's just a matter of when. Oh, hello. They're going to have another go, aren't they?
Well, they've come to play the Kangaroos. Every 50-50 ball at the moment's going the Kangaroos' way.
And there's a Kangaroo player down at centre-half forward. It's Harvey. It's Osborne who's standing over with a smoking gun.
Well, that's his direct opponent, and just off the ball there, just had a bit of a wrestle and threw Harvey to the ground.
And this is Ladson who's injured. So, boy, there's some storylines unfolding here. It's Boomer Harvey would have to kick at 55. Crowded forward line as he looks up. He's going to go short, though. It travels to required 15, and it's Aaron Edwards who takes the mark in just his second game for the Kangaroos, the former West Coast Eagle who played 4 games for the Eagles a couple of years ago.
Here we see the Ladson, just rolled his ankle there a little bit, but Edwards took 6 marks last week. Will come at the ball carrier. Gillen was half asleep there.
From just inside the 50, hooks it miserably, and it is out of bounds on the full.
Disappointing result there from Edwards. He looked a bit stuttered in his approach. Plenty of nerves, no doubt, but hopefully he can get better than that because he moved and marked the ball well.
Shane Crawford today moves past Gary Ayres and Jason Dunstall on the all-time games list for the Hawks. He goes short for Roughhead. Dangerous ball to the middle. It's chopped off by Wells. Silky smooth skills, and the finish is terrific, but Jones couldn't hang on. Birchall to clear the danger zone for the Hawks. To Ladson. Mitchell running to the outer wing. Harris a good 10 metres off him. Now just zones off as Mitchell kicks towards half forward. Boyle against Gibson. Support by Pratt. Neat one-handed pickup off for Sinclair. Goes to the centre corridor. It's Wells. He's getting plenty of space early. Going down the centre corridor, the Kangaroos. Grant is here. He's in front. Ball over his head. Hawks can now look to clear with Gillen going to the wing, working hard. Roughhead.
Well, Edwards has got to do better than that. He was led to the footy by his defence, and the Kangaroos have chopped up a couple of promising attacks inside 50. There's a grab.
Big leap by Boyle. Waiting down Mitchell. Handball for Hodge, dragged off it by Simpson. Play on the call. Ladson weaves past a couple, drives to full forward for Williams. Wonderful mark.
It was well done. It was a better kick. The first 3 kicks went high, and the Kangaroos are just...
Well, they're going to be very lucky. Ladson getting in the back of Wells.
Well, pretty stiff there because the forward line are working really well there for Hawthorn. But Danny, I saw you jump up in the air there when Danny Ferrito took the front position as a full-back. You love that.
It was magnificent. But Wells, he's got coming up with his 4th position already in this game.
Ladson penalised 50 metres for swearing. No such problems for Michael Braun last night.
Might not be 50 metres, but...
Roos by a goal. Wells to half forward and floating forward is Casey Green.
I haven't seen Daniel Wells have this much space in a game of footy for 2 years.
Green short to the pocket. Jones the mark. Had a sublime second quarter last week when he kicked 4 goals against the Power, all coming in the second stanza.
Well, he owes them one. He dropped a ball from Daniel Wells that he should have collected.
Not much Brown could do about that. It was a magnificent kick. Kept him out of the corridor.
So come round the metre if you want it. If you want it.
Corey says, I'm just fine, Scott. Thank you.
So I think what's happening is that Hodge and Daniel Wells are going to play a part. That the Hawks are going to back Hodge in to create more than his direct opponent. But it doesn't matter what you do through the middle, if in fact that's what happens when you get a set shot.
25 possessions each. Who hurts you more?
It's a line ball, it really is. I mean, I think goals would probably end up telling the story there. If Wells can get forward and kick goals. And at the moment, he's doing most of his damage forward to the centre, and that's also a fairly big deciding factor. But what about down on the boundary line, Ryan?
Lee Brown has started in the back line on Joe Roughhead. He started the season up into the forward line, but at the moment he's just letting Roughhead lead him up to the ball.
Look at that tackling from Corey Jones. He does well to effect a bounce, attacking side of the wing for the Roos. And Taylor was very happy for that prospect. Chance to get involved physically against McIntosh, who wins the hit out. Crawford's got to beat a couple and cannot boundary throwing. A break early for Robert Campbell, who was described by Jordan Lewis last week as the best fashion crash ruckman in the AFL. Taylor in front, winning it down. Simpson, the captain, on the left. High ball to the 50. Jones to beat 2. Good spoil from behind by Hodge. He followed it up, enables Osborne to gather and feed Clinton Young, and they can switch to that outer side. There's Gillum running into space. Harvey in pursuit. Gillum gets it back in a hurry for Sewell. This is Osborne. Hodge now. About to be caught. Got it onto the running Young. Draws the defence. Feeds Mitchell. Fluent build up by the Hawks. Kick to Lewis, a beauty.
Worked well, Lewis. Saw him run from this wing. 100 metres over to get that football.
You see them try to free Williams up. He gets a little bit of space. The kick goes to Roughhead in the pocket. And from a tight angle, he marks 30 metres out.
Unfortunately, Hawthorn have to leave a little bit wide at the moment. That's the only option he had because Petrie and Sinclair were standing free in the corridor. So, good option there.
Another look at Roughhead getting free. The lead very wide to the boundary line for the 20-year-old from Leon Gaffer. Nice. Oh, what a kick that is. Terrific goal, Jared Roughhead. Well, got the proverbial thread in the eye of the needle.
Clinton, that'll do his confidence the world of good. He's had the 4 touches and 3 marks, so that's a great start for Jared Roughhead, and they're really going to have to keep on the move, the Hawthorn forwards, because the Kangaroos are intent on having a loose player back there, so they're going to have to lead outside the corridor and double and triple lead.
There's another player, Danny, who you asked, do you prefer him as a defender or a forward?
Jared, I prefer him as a forward, Clinton. I just think he's the type of player, under pressure, you can kick the ball to. He's a big man, and he's had 3 pre-seasons now. He's a big, strong boy.
Lee Brown alongside, whom we asked that question of as well in our pre-game coverage. A goal apiece after an entertaining 11 minutes. Perfect bounce for the ruckman. Hale now going against Taylor. This is Crawford getting away from Swallow, feeding Birchall. Now Taylor again, the big man. Foot skills pretty good. McGlynn, he was hard at it on Easter Monday. Goes to Williams. Was there a hold? No. Good spoil for Rito. Osborne stole it from Harvey. Centering ball.
Well done.
Sinclair crashed the pack. Affecting the spoil. Wells was there. Rawlings. Oh, that's high. That has to be high. Free kick going to Sandsbury.
That was nasty.
Well, he put his hand up, McGlynn. Look, he's a bit over-exuberant, but he went low. But you've just got to just stay back a little bit and, yeah, just, oh, yeah. It's lucky.
Oh, yeah. Here's the Kangaroos through Harvey. Going short beyond the 50 is Grant. The spoil by Sewell. Boundary throw-in.
Well, that's going to be a great matchup, that one. Sewell did a terrific job last week on Travis Johnson, so it's a good matchup there for the Hawks.
There's the bench right now. Green, Harris, McIntosh have all seen action thus far. Campbell yet to. Sinclair caught by Mitchell.
My ball.
And just off the back of the pack there, top right-hand corner it was. You've got Luke Hodge, who he's just such a great creator off that half-back line. If he gets the footy, it's going to end up on somebody's chest midway. So
The arm was locked.
he's almost a bloke you'd match up on, Danny, I think, in this position. It's almost impossible to let him go free.
You're right, Jared. You've got Casey Green just pushing down there to try and make Hodge accountable.
Yeah.
Here's Sandsbury being brought down. Did well to get the handball to Wells on the run. Misses to the near side.
Just got to make those. I mean, the Kangaroos have now missed 3 absolute shots at goal that they should have nailed.
Well, Corey Jones, as I said, 3 shots. They've only had the 2 scoring shots, and Corey Jones 1 out in the full.
1-1 plays a goal. They didn't kick a goal after quarter time the last time they met the Hawks. It was down in Launceston, round 21 last year. They lost 7-16 to 4-12. Prior to that, the Roos had won 5 consecutive meetings between these two great rivals of the 70s. There's Hodge, good kick to half-back, and this is Grant Birchall.
And well done by Birchall. He's working hard too. You could see that Hodge was in trouble looking for an exit player, and he worked hard into the space to provide it.
Now, Roos getting back in numbers, but the kick was precise to the leading Tim Boyle.
The Kangaroos are happy with this because Hawthorn last week, they just took the opposition on. And without Chance Bateman and Clark, they just missed those 2 runners to run the lines.
Birchall again, around in circles. There's no one behind these 2 players here for the Hawks, so everyone getting back. Campbell Brown was good last week against Russell Robertson. Goes to the wing, and they can be patient again with Sewell in possession.
This is a different Kangaroos team we've seen the last 2 weeks, Jared. They kept their structure up forward. They're intent on stifling the Hawthorn run at the moment.
Sewell trying to be precise with that kick, was not, so the Roos will have possession through. Pratt takes a while. Guerra gets him holding the ball.
Good tackle. Forward pressure by the Hawks has been excellent. I'm sure their coach will be thrilled with that. But I think they have to, the Kangaroos, Denny, for the whole season. They have to play a pretty negative game, whereas other clubs, like we saw today with Brown and Barry Hall up forward.
Roughhead knocking it down. Dixon for Taylor. Big man backpedaling. Williams won't get past Petrie. Boyle. Oh, they're hard at it, aren't they, the Roos? This is great stuff. Taylor kept it in for the time being. Brown smashes it out.
Yeah, getting back to Brown and Hall, they had a shootout, whereas the Kangaroos just haven't got the personnel to do that. So I think they've got to stifle and look to play a running game and get blokes back into that defensive area.
Xavier Ellis preparing for his third game.
Yeah, Mitchell off for Ellis.
Sinclair, look out. Petrie runs it out. Boundary throwing. Great individual matchups all around the ground. You sense we're in for a tight affair this evening. Sainsbury. Roos unable to break clear. Swallow is tied up. We should get a bounce. We will.
Well, Jared, the Kangaroos have achieved their goal at the moment because the Hawthorn have had 56 possessions to the Kangaroos 36, yet are leading by a point. So they're happy with a love-all draw at the moment.
Looking at it, you can't see the Kangaroos winning by a big margin, but you could see it a blowout the other way if, in fact, Hawthorn can break down this defensive mindset.
Young on the right foot from 50. Top of the square. Dixon waiting down.
Good hands.
McGlynn drops it, recovers, and misses with the snap at goal, just to behind.
Well, you fumble in today's football, the pressure triples. It doesn't double, it triples.
And we're tied. 16 minutes have elapsed. A couple of footies for Drew Petrie to choose from. Gibson. Not sure. Gone. Guerra again providing the tackle.
In the square, Roughhead.
Illis hitting the top of the square. Brown couldn't grasp it. Franklin does. And Buddy has just missed. Cannoning into the post.
Great athleticism from Franklin there for a guy 6'5". Pick that up at half volley and just go whack.
Exciting.
The target's missed by the Kangaroos, and indecision, it is killing them. Good stuff by Guerra, though. They are applying the pressure, and they're getting results for it.
These two clubs among the worst in the league across the opening fortnight of kick-ins following opponents' behinds. This one's better for the Roos as they work at the Pratt defensive side of the outer wing. Short down the line, but again didn't hit the chest of the target, and Harvey is buffeted, and a boundary throw-in will result.
Well, when the Kangaroos get the ball, they're just going to deny Hawthorn the opportunity, aren't they? They're just going to spot up short kicks all night.
Hale with the palm down. Look at the scoop from Wells on the half volley. Goes deep towards full forward. McGlynn's spoil was fair on Edwards. Gillum, rather, on Edwards for a boundary throw-in.
Oh, gee, umpire. I thought that was a free kick, Danny.
Yeah, no, they
even
paid
under
them,
the old rules.
They paid them a lot the first two rounds, Jared, no doubt.
Knock it out! Knock it out! No one's even got the ball, guys. Scotty, you right?
Dean Margette's providing the soundtrack.
This is where the Kangaroos need to hit pay dirt. They need to win these clearances and have a shot on goal.
Brady Rawlings with Crawford, you can see there off screen. We've got, I think it's Osborne with Wells.
Lewis getting the hand pass back. Hodge, Crawford, now Gillum. Short to half back. Ellis.
Good running there from Ellis.
Still just 19 years of age. Centering ball's a good one. Hawks looking dangerous on the counter attack. Lewis to Guerra goes straight down the corridor. Dixon's got options. Feeds it off for Birchall. Sold the dummy, got around Gibson. The young Tasmanian looking impressive. Just missing with his kick to the left-hand side. Now the Hawks' turn to waste a couple of chances.
That was a great build-up there. Grant Birchall giving the Hawks a lot of runs. 7 possessions already from the half-back line.
Long kick back into play for the Roos. This time effective for Sinclair, and he gets 50.
Jets, you've got the free kick. Come back.
Against Osborne.
Contact with him.
It's Ladson, in fact, running with Daniel Wells.
Mark's here.
After his impressive job on Aaron Davey on Monday.
Hold there, don't go over. Yes, please. Yeah.
Inside of 7 minutes from quarter time, Sinclair goes deep. Hawks up to spoil. Guerra gets first crack at it. Jones the deflection. Campbell Brown the pickup. Now Sewell punches the handball to Guerra. Back for Brown. Good vision. And he hits Sam Mitchell on the chest. Defensive side of the outer wing.
So right now, Hodges by himself across half-back and Petrie's by themselves across half-back. For me, that's a win for Hawthorn.
Yep.
No doubting that whatsoever, Jared.
Mitchell short. Gibson the spoil. Working with Harris. And, well, he got rid of Lewis. Got it on to Sandsbury. Towards Green, leading to half forward, and he marks just on the 50.
Reconsider that. Petrie now pushing up onto Roughhead.
Back here. Come back behind me. That's good now.
The magnetic board getting some changes as the former Eagle, Casey Green, does he fancy his chances here? He's going to pop it into the goal square and hope for Edwards, and that's an easy one for the Hawks to climb and spoil, and some will say he should have landed it 5 metres further
no doubt
up the
about
ground.
that. But they just haven't got the player there, as we see the palm off. Lucky to get away with that was Harris, but just haven't got the player that's tall enough to spot that up. They've got to get a ruckman down there.
Yeah, if they continually kick that high ball, Hawthorn have been terrific so far.
Punch.
Good effort.
And Brown did the right thing of knocking it to Harvey, but Harvey curtailed by the bounce there, so it might open the door for the Hawks to clear, leading by a point.
Good hands here, Hawthorn.
Yeah, they've worked it well. Lewis from McGlynn to Osborne. Good movement. Ellis has seen a bit of it early. On the lead, Williams. Can he take it on the bounce? Closing for Rito. Good tackle, holding the ball.
Yeah, that was great. Great play there from Rito. Just tackled the body there. Williams had no chance.
And he's deceptively quick as well as Harvey marks. Lead by Edwards. He goes short. And this is Hale.
I think he's the key, Clinton. They've got to get Hale to push hard forward into the 50.
Yep.
They've got McIntosh up there as well, and he's got himself loose. Got to honour the lead.
Marks inside 50. Kangaroos with 6 already, so they should have a better return than just the 1 goal.
Corey Jones, he's the danger man for the Hawks. Campbell Brown's going to have his hands full tonight. He just continually leads, just keeps coming at the ball.
125 career goals for the man who played in the premiership at Witchy Proof when he was just 16 years of age. He's now 26.
And just watching Adam Simpson, the captain of the Kangaroos.
As Jones' kick is across the face and it's through for a behind the scores a level.
He's got his hands in the air. I think it's his man is Hodge. And so he's floating for up and down the middle of the ground. Hodge is just staying back. At the moment, Adam Simpson's had 5 possessions.
And here's Hodge for his 5th.
Also the Kangaroos, 11 inside 50s to 9, yet they've only scored the 1 goal again. It's been the story for the last couple of weeks.
Mitchell's second grab was over the line. A boundary throw-in will be the result as you check the Kangaroos bench. And Daniel Wells is there. Campbell and McIntosh share it. Simpson sharks it. Watch the bounce. Crawford trying to weave his way through. Mitchell went without it. Opened the door for Sandsbury in the path of Green. Still did well not to give away a free, and we'll get a boundary throw-in with the Roos deep in attack.
He didn't hold you enough.
Well, they should win the clearances, the Kangaroos, because essentially they've got an extra player there with Hodge dropping off the back.
Clearances at this stage running 5-4 Hawthorn's way. Here's Jones. Squeezes the kick out, but the Hawks have got numbers. Young the pick up for Birchall.
Kick.
Now they've got some space in the forward line here. Can Boyle pick it up? He does. Oh, the handball was a wild one. Harvey to Simpson on the right foot to McIntosh. 55 metres out, goes to the pocket for Edwards. Tight angle, he'll keep the eyes up. Any options presenting? Not yet.
One more step this way. Back in, please, mate.
Well, he kicked 100 goals last year in the VFL, and I'm sure he kicked a couple of these from the pocket, Jared, if he kicked 100.
He would have had this shot more than most. Surprised he's not going a boomerang. Maybe he'll swing out onto his left foot, but
You got the mark. He's done the mark. Play.
Conditions a little more benign than a windy day at Frankston right now as he misses to the near side.
he'd be a pretty nervous character, even though he's played a lot of senior football at the next grade down. Still a big lift up for him.
1-4 to 1-3.
Jacobs had come off the bench and should have got a sitter, but the kick was exposed.
Ellis sending it wide so McIntosh can go quickly, and Harris was on the end of it. Kangaroos, the last 5 entries inside their attacking 50. 13 to 9 that category as Harris goes short, and they look to go inside 50 here with Brown. Pops it up. Can they get another mark inside 50? Hawthorn should be able to spoil. Campbell Brown does. A rare fumble from Crawford, and Mitchell heads it out wide, perhaps hoping for the boundary line. Ellis, but a result for the Hawks. Can they gather possession? Not yet.
Umpires have been hot on deliberate out of bounds this weekend.
Sinclair for Harris. Goes to Jones.
Good vision.
Great vision, and the execution was superb. And Corey Jones, who's already had a couple of siders without success, can try and kick the Kangaroos' second goal.
And Smithy, the man who you interviewed during the week, it probably wasn't at his house, but it was at the Docklands. It's just had a rest.
Yeah, he's just come off for a rest. I was watching him just before. He just runs himself ragged the whole time, and he's obviously being tagged, but he just gets the most out of every opportunity he gets.
Got to get a conversion. Got to get a conversion, Danny.
Certainly does. He's had the 2 shots on goal. He needs this for the team's confidence, but more importantly, his own confidence.
1-4 to 1-3. You see the time counting down in this first term. Can he split the middle? You bet. Good one for Jones. And the Roos finally get some return now from their 15 entries to 9 inside 50. They lead 2-4 to 1-3.
Well, Danny, I think both supporters of both teams will be pretty happy with the work rate. I mean, they've got an honest contribution and an honest performance by both teams. It's going to be tough work for the Kangaroos. They haven't got the quality of player in their forward line at the moment to have big scores. If they're to win, it's going to be on the back of work rate. I think the Hawks probably got marginally more talent out on the park.
Well, they're going to have to give the ball the entry into the forward line at those kicks. They're going to have to dart them in. If they continually bomb it long, the Hawks punch it and run it out.
Back in the centre, Campbell boldly takes it. Oh, giving some leniency, Ellis. Got it off to Crawford, look out. Simpson closed fast on Mitchell. McIntosh trying to be creative, got the ball and part of Crawford's head with that. Roos work it forward towards Green, but it's over for a boundary throw and off the boot of Campbell. Virtual, the leading ball winner thus far.
The stoppages now, Jared. Hodge is behind the stoppage here, and we see Green going to him, so they're aware of Hodge being the quarterback.
Short boundary throw in. Head down over at Green, now Harris. Campbell with a big tackle on Simpson. Likewise, Sinclair brought down by Sewell. Now Ellis is wrapped up by Harris. Great 1%ers today. Final minute opening term. And another bounce.
Trying to let you knock it free. Leave it on the ground.
And Adam Simpson was very slow to get up after the hit from Campbell, as you see Harvey catch his breath. Campbell's turn to be brought down. There's a free for in the back going Hawthorn's way. Just their second free kick for the opening stanza, drawing the applause from the crowd. Trailing by 7 points, Campbell. You can hear the cry from the umpire. Dangerous short ball. McIntosh knocks it back from whence it came and will get a boundary throw in. The clock will stop with 15 seconds to go.
Well, if they can get a break, the Hawthorn, have a look at their open forward line now. They just aren't able to get it over the centre at the moment, the Hawks.
Potentially a pivotal clearance here in the waning seconds of the opening term. Can the Roos get it? Swallow is tied up. Franklin, good tackle. Campbell Brown dispossessed. Lewis did well. Got it to Mitchell. Won't be enough time, you would think. 5 seconds as Sam kicks to midfield. Petrie, got to mark this. Won't get the chance. Quarter time at the Dome, and it's the Kangaroos leading by 7 points.
Well, both clubs are very defensively minded. In particular, I think the Kangaroos, it's a bit of a scrum at the present time. I suspect it may open up. If the Kangaroos are to win, they won't be allowed to let it open up. If it does open up, I think Hawthorn will be the beneficiaries. But Daniel Wells was a player that got off to a good start, and he was one that was running relatively free, Spud.
And you've also got Hawthorn's backline. No surprise that they've got a lot of the possessions, Jared. Birchall, Gillum, Osborne, these type of players are running the ball out of the back half. So just a love-all draw at the moment, but they're going to have to make some great decisions out here tonight.
So despite 34 more uses of the footy in the opening term, Hawthorn are behind by 7 points at quarter time on Sunday Night Football. Plenty on the line as rivalry round draws to a close on Sunday Night Football. Kangaroos 2-4-16, Hawthorn 1-3-9 at quarter time. Jones, Wells and Roughhead, the goal kickers for the respective teams. Hawthorn with 103 possessions to the Kangaroos 69 across the first term. Birchall with 8 touches for the Hawks, the bulk of those coming in uncontested fashion. The other discrepancy there, the bottom line, the Roos with 17 entries inside their forward 50 to Hawthorn just 9. For more on the Hawks, their assistant coach Todd Viney with Rowan Smith.
Well, Todd, it's a fairly tight contest so far.
It is. It's tight. You know, it's been a lot of skill errors by us. You know, we're at 63% kicking efficiency in the midfield area, and it's just we've been turning the footy over way too much.
Are you looking to open it up this quarter?
Yeah, look, we're going to try and kick our kicks. You know, we're missing too many. If we can just transition the ball a little bit better, hopefully we can put some score on the board.
Thanks for joining us.
All right, thanks, Ron.
And just on those possessions, as Todd just said, they're actually almost identical in possessions in the defensive 50 and the forward 50, both clubs. But Hawthorn have had so much more of the footy in the middle, and I suspect, Danny, it's a product of the Kangaroos having so many numbers in defence. They're just chipping the ball around, trying to find an opening, going from one side of the ground to the other. So they're not attacking kicks, they're just delaying tactics.
You're right. The Kangaroos have got on the front foot. Dean Laidley's gone against his game plan the first 2 weeks. They've gone defence. You see Dean Laidley talking to Lee Brown and Petrie there. They've been the 2 guys thwarting the forward thrust for the Hawthorn Footy Club, and that's Alistair Clarkson's biggest challenge now, is to come up with plan B. Plan A last week worked beautifully because it was 1-on-1 all over the ground. But the Kangaroos and Dean Laidley, more importantly, have served up something different.
Is it really they've just got to get it in there quickly? If you can get Franklin 1 out or Mark Williams 1 out, or in a 1-on-1 contest, I mean, they are going to kick a winning score for you, but the ball has come in relatively slowly.
You're right, through the midfield. They're going to have to bring the ball through the corridor a lot more. That opens up the options for everyone, the runners and, more importantly, the forwards. And the team tonight that makes the best decisions and picks the right options are going to win this game of football.
We know Luke Hodge reads the ball magnificently. We know he's a great kick. Do you at some stage have the debate, are we better off pushing him up the ground so he's kicking it into the 50 rather than out of the 50?
Look, it's probably a little bit too early for that, but you're right. It's an option Alistair Clarkson's got up his sleeve, and it's great to see him starting in the middle, Jared. You're probably right on the money here with Hodge starting in the middle, and that's a great sign when you've got Lewis and Mitchell, who are the first touch players for Hawthorn, and if they can get the ball out to Luke Hodge forward to the centre instead of kicking out of the defensive 50, the forwards will be very happy with that.
It's almost going back to a previous era, but the Hawks have got 2 very tall wingmen. And they seem to have been trying to recruit 6'3" wingmen and ruck rovers for a long time. But
well, there we see young Birchall here. He's definitely 6'3". He's had the 8 possessions, and if that matchup's there all night, that'll be a great matchup, Birchall and Wells.
Wells with 6 touches early. Earlier today, a 52-point win for Geelong over Melbourne, while the Swans 27 points to the good over Brisbane. It's the Kangaroos by 7 here as we get the second quarter underway on Fox Sports AFL. Roos to the right, Hawks to the left.
Oh, it's a joke.
Campbell and McIntosh to get us underway. Mitchell for Lewis. Young spirits it out for Birchall. Not sure. Gone. Can't have that one.
Well, he had to have a little bit some support from his teammates around. They all fanned out. A couple had to stay in close for Grant there.
Now Harris, he's about to get the hurry up, and Dixon was lurking 2 metres behind him, ready to pounce. Harris drives it up to the 50. Harvey, good in a confined space. So's this man, Wells. He's hard to bring down. They got him that time. Franklin running the wrong way. Batted back by Wells. Birchall, Campbell, Young. Defensive goal square. Hits the outer side, Jacobs.
And this is good running also. They've got another man flying up forward.
Sewell on the wing.
And it's good unselfish running by Sewell.
And goes long. It's Dixon and Pratt. Dixon at ground level. Boot the ball quickly to the pocket. Williams caught behind Ferrito. We'll get a boundary throw in.
Danny, you said when Birchall got sprung in the middle of the ground with no close options. I think that's probably a byproduct of what happened in the opening round where there wasn't any spread and they were only dishing off 1 and 2 metre handballs to Hawks and getting tackled anyhow.
Good point.
What's the tags? The blocks.
Short throw in. Roughhead takes it. Claim. Got boot to ball. Sends it back over the line for a throw in. The bench for the Hawks. Ellis watching on. McGlynn alongside. Taylor as well.
Ellis looked like he had a shiner.
Harris for Simpson. Now Rawlings. One-on-one contest is Grant and Lewis. First to recover. The Royal veteran Lewis. Perfect tackle. And the Hawk fans wanted a free. It's not there. And Lewis is fuming.
Well, but he had prior option. That's probably the thing you have to look at in that tackle. And we see Grant there. Yeah, look, he probably didn't have a lot of time to get rid of the ball. Good decision there for the umpire.
Now a free. High. It's going to Williams. Ferrito's given away a goal. Mark Williams, the free, the 50. Will be taken to the goal line. And Ferrito's thinking it's best that I just walk away. One of the old drawn in, and you just can't touch them on the head these days.
Well, they've been at it all night.
Yep.
And Ferrito, it started the first bounce. This one really hurts. This deflates the opposition and can give the Hawks a real good sniff.
Mark Williams with 6 last week. Pops through his first today. 1 point game.
Well, that hurts. It really does hurt. It builds the opposition. You know, the Hawthorn forwards now think, yeah, let's get the ball in there.
It might not be much, but in the rules, that's a free.
No, you're spot on, Clinton. They'll play that every day of the week. I've got no doubt in that.
And you want a 50? That's your 50.
Yeah, well, that's silly. Silly play, especially when the umpire's right there, Clinton. Like, seriously, it wasn't a big one, but the umpire was always going to play it. You touch the player in the head at any stage, especially when the umpire's, what, 2 inches away?
Yeah.
Silly play.
2-4 to 2-3 now. And that will do Mark Williams a world of good for his confidence after a close checking opponent and the better of him in the first term. Campbell knocking it down. Will it inspire the Hawks here? Lewis slips, brought down. Wells, knock on, good. Grant slipped as well in the middle. Here's Wells. Brought down by a couple. Got the handball to Harris, was terrific. Harvey about to be collared. Knocks it on to Sinclair. They work it back. A little chip by Sainsbury to the hot spot. Jones has to beat 4. Hawks didn't really wait there, although Gillen was at the back of the pack, does well. Now Young. Still going, Clinton Young. He ran straight at them.
Great play, Young.
The water's parted. Now Guerra. Oh, he's done a little circle. Feeds Lewis, but he's still got teammates presenting forward. Goes long inside the 50. Pratt could spoil on Dixon. Boundary throw-in.
Well, that was a good sign there from Hawthorn. Just taking the opposition on, and you probably think, why didn't he kick the ball? But at the other end, the Kangaroos was 4 players to 1, so he had to hold on to the ball.
From the boundary throw-in, Campbell the hit out, Harris together, now Simpson. Oh, poor kick from McIntosh, he's out on the full. Brown. Short.
I think Guerra's going to get
Osborne
the kick here, Clinton.
having to give it back. Guerra will take it. Sends it inside the 50 where Roughhead was coming out. Just a lull in proceedings as Brown affects the spoil.
Give us a prediction on the final score here, Danny.
Well, the way the game's been played at the moment, I think it's going to be a love-all draw, Jared, about 50 points apiece.
No blocking, no holding.
It's similar to what they played down in Tassie, 7 goals to 4 late last year.
It's the equivalent of a clay court tennis match at the moment. Haven't seen a serve and volley.
They'll get a boundary throw in. There's Harvey. Gets into Osborne. Osborne wants a free. You're not getting it.
The side that takes the most of their opportunities, we just see Harvey who put his tagger into the ground. Jared, you would have liked that.
Did you give it to him?
Any opportunity, just throw it into the ground.
What with a risky handball for Harvey. Lewis closing fast. Got it to Simpson. Look out. Oh, clever. Knew the defence was coming. Harvey a little fumble. Gets it back. Kangaroos, have they affected the jailbreak here? Sainsbury in the middle. Should get it on. Some rare space in their forward line. Loose man on the outer side of the ground is Pratt. He can pump it long. 65 out. Goes deep. Petrie floating forward. Will have a shot at goal from 20 metres out.
You call it right there, Clinton, because Petrie started down here loose and he was aware that the Kangaroos had the ball and he pushed forward hard. That's great running. Great vision as well. And as I said, the side that picks the best option and makes the best decisions will win this game of football. And that was the great decision there for Petrie to run.
Well, he's the only one really out on the track without a particular man.
His kick at goal is good. And the Warriors are back after a 7-point lead.
Here's the freebie. He's starting for defence, so if he can get forward, then all of a sudden they can make the overlap up forward. But I'm not sure how big his wind tank is, but if he's to do that 20 and 30 times today, he's going to be in for one hell of an afternoon and evening.
The setup there from Harvey to Sainsbury in the middle.
Done it right, Eddie. Wide option here, and whilst that ball goes out wide, it gives Petrie enough time to run from outside the 50 deep, and he was honoured by a good kick.
And Brent Harvey's just starting to get a little bit of the ball as well. He's had 10 possessions, but more importantly, 5 handball receives. Just starting to run.
3-4 to 2-3. Kangaroos on top. McIntosh, the hit out. Lewis, the gather for the Hawks. Tied up. Umpires letting them play.
On the back of that goal, now it's man on man right across the ground. No freebies.
Oh, gee. It's a Kangaroo free. Campbell can't believe it, looking incredulously at umpire Margetts, but the free is paid and the Roos go quickly. And here is Sainsbury, who's coming up for his 8th possession, his first game for the year, going short for his captain. And Simpson now, wide ball for McIntosh. Campbell Brown couldn't wrap him up. Look out, Watt, brought down from behind by Young. McIntosh the knock on. Franklin for Campbell Brown. Just gets away. The kick, dangerous. Bounce important. Lee Brown, did he give away a free? Yes. Birchall to take it for a high one. Waiting. Numbers getting back. No one on the mark.
Danny Jacobs has run hard on his, not far from this footy.
Williams gets rid of Ferrito. Rawlings, good pressure. Gibson to Ferrito, a fumble. Petrie, back for Gibson. Look out. About to be caught. Great reflex catch by Grant. Hurries a kick to the wing. Game opening up. Short ball to centre half forward for Boyle. Couldn't trap it. Franklin coming through. Keeps it in front of him. Good pickup. Petrie the tackle. Ball spills to Harris. It's a hot 5 minutes right now. Will it break? Boyle the chance. Harris, good tackle. Play on the call. Held in, will get a bounce.
I think you're right, Clinton. Jared, you can just sense the game's going to break over. As your comment, everyone's gone one-on-one. So the Pio at the ball senses, well, we can get it in there quickly now.
Now McIntosh coming off the ground, the ruck rotation for the Roos. So Petrie rucking here, deep in the defensive zone. Gee, Osborne's desperate there. Osborne is very desperate. Oh, it's one of the best goals you'll see. In terms of its commitment, Michael Osborne did not give up. And he manages to squeeze it through, and it's a 1-point game again.
Well, he just willed the goal for himself there, Michael Osborne. You see here the stoppage, and you know, there's a bit of a fumble there, but Osborne just wanted that ball more than those 4 Kangaroo teammates and stood up in the tackle and just got ball to boot. Great goal.
I think what was great was he got up. He didn't just sit over it, and to use the old terminology, hatchet. He got up and he got a little bit of a half boot on it.
And then a bit of a Johnny Wilkinson place kick.
That's all he did. Now, the best news for the Hawks, though, it's at the top of their possession list. You've got Birchall and Lewis. 2 young men forging a career rather than the old stalwarts that we see there week in, week out.
Kangaroos by a point. Second bounce looms in the middle.
Throw in Clinton Young also, Jared, and Steve Gillen. So that's fantastic signs there for Hawks.
Kangaroos searching for their first win of the year. They're at their new home, Carrara. They're home away from home next week to take on the Brisbane Lions. Must get victory here tonight. Harris burrowing his way through. He's always at the coalface. Sainsbury knocking it on. Watt tied up by Franklin. Now Wills.
Ruckman pushing forward. If they can spot him up, they've got a marking target.
Good vision by Pratt. Rawlings. Can he go to Grant? He will. Back for Rawlings. Look out! Young bumped the ball clear, but Grant was there to scoop it up and drive it inside the 50, and the kick was good, and the diving mark was excellent from Harvey.
Well, Clinton Young had to tackle there, Jared. He tried to bump. You have to take the tackle. Especially when the player's got the ball, he just had to wrap him up and cause a ball up.
Got it here. Line's good.
Right on the edge of his range, Brent Harvey can kick it. Booted 4 last week, 7 for the season entering this match. Your best and fairest winner at Arden Street. Kick on its way. It's good. Goal for goal we go. Harvey becomes the 4th goal kicker for the Kangaroos.
Well, Osborne, his direct opponent, kicked one, Jared, and like all good on ballers, he just worked hard and wanted that more.
Well, it was a good kick to set it up. I mean, I thought the Hawks were away there, and yet it was a spotted kick, I think it was, from Shannon Grant, and it was right on the money. I mean, that's pretty good defensive work there from Osborne. It's just that the kick was so perfect that he was given no opportunity.
Well, it was the classic grass cutter, wasn't it?
4-4 plays 3-3.
It's 1 goal apiece since they went to man-on-man. No loosies.
Mitchell. The clearance for Hawthorn with a high one towards Boyle. Petrie the spoil. Hodge the help. Caught by Swallow holding the ball.
The tackling's been good from both teams tonight.
Well, I thought it was stiff. I mean, he did duck, but I don't think he had any prior opportunity. Let's have another look. Maybe he tried to beat some men, but to me, that's a ball up.
Swallows kick. Not good. Mitchell knocking it down. Ladson shoveling it out for Crawford. His 3rd kick, 7th possession towards half forward. Hodge has to beat 2. Swallow, that's high. Advantage play on. Dangerous advantage. Harris to a contest. Crawford. Well, it was a spectacular launch. If nothing else, we'll get a boundary throw-in.
There was a bit of spring in the old valley. That was magnificent leap there
32
from Crawford.
years young, as you see Hodge with a high one on Swallow. And the pressure there, the ball over for a boundary throw-in. And from that throw-in, McGlynn is pinged for holding the ball.
Good chasing tackle.
Well, it is. The tackling is improved right across the board at AFL footy now.
Good lead too.
Just touched by Corey Jones in front of Rowan Smith and the Fox Sports AFL boys just getting a little close to the action. Pump down there, Rowan.
Yeah, I nearly got the footy then, but it's interesting to note that everyone has gone one-on-one around the ground, but both teams are playing with a 3-man forward line, so the midfield is very cramped.
Roos by 7 points. There is Williams and Ferrigo.
You took him on, ducked your head, Luke, you know.
In the goal square. Umpire Margetts with the advice for Hodge.
But did he have a prior opportunity, Luke?
He didn't ask the question. Roughhead knocking it wide.
I reckon it's the ruckman that could decide or give either side a little break. It's the ruckman that can push forward, but here's an opportunity now for the Hawks.
Here's a break from McGlynn. Takes off. Goes long to the leading Williams.
And this bloke will come into his own on a one-on-one. And he's got it wide. He is a beautiful kick, so he's a better chance than most, but still percentages well down from here.
You're right. As a defender, Ferrigo couldn't do much there. You can see him. Ferrigo's playing in the corridor, so if your forward's going to mark the ball, mark it on the boundary line. But as we know, Williams was a 50-50 chance from this shot.
Turned 24 last Friday, did Mark Williams. And product of Jared Neesham's Clontarf Aboriginal College, just inside the 50. Jared said he's a magnificent kick. Missed it by that much. A goal the difference. Crowd between 25 and 30,000 here at the Dome for Sunday night football as the Roos bring it back into play via the boot of Petrie. They work it to the far side of the ground. Sinclair, stalked by McGlynn. Goes short. That's all right. This is Matt Campbell.
That's it, Danny. Come.
Happy to go backwards for Sinclair. The Kangaroos just 5 backwards kicks in rounds 1 and 2 combined. Fewest in the AFL. Now Watt. Good ball. Brown. Fluid movement. Grant pushed out of it by Sewell. Good defence. Lewis. Osborne. Taylor. Not 15 to Birchall. Sizes up the options. Will affect the switch back for Franklin on half-back. Halfway through the second term, it's a 1-goal game.
The 3 up the middle, the Hawks.
Short ball, effective. Ladson, was he off? No.
Geez, that was a wasted opportunity there, Hawthorn. Slowed it up, didn't need to. Had to just have better vision, find the 3 up the middle.
Jacobs. And 50. Not quite shades of round 1 yet for Hawthorn when they played against Brisbane, but what they said going into the Melbourne game, we're going to be bold, we're going to be attacking, we're going to take risks. It's more a round 1 game than a round 2 game from them thus far.
But the opposition are serving that up to him too, Clinton. They're really stifling their forward 50. Have a look at the congestion in his forward line.
Young goes deep. Who's waiting down? The question here. Gibson of the Kangaroos got it to Campbell. Caught. Look out. That will be mown down. Sainsbury ducked. Play on. Sinclair to Watt to Petrie. Squeezes out of a Hawk sandwich, but Jacobs does well. Ladson. Fumble. Jacobs. Fumble. Ladson. Short. Comes off. Crawford.
3 metres!
There might be a little bit of dew on the surface down there. I'm not sure whether Rowan would agree, but it looks a little bit dewy, the ball.
No, it's not, Danny. It's pretty dry. I've felt the grass just before, and it's pretty dry.
Here's Grant off the Hawk turnover. Now Campbell's running to space at half forward. Longer than that is this man at full stretch, Thomas. Couldn't hang on. Gillum. Met afterwards by Thomas. Advanced free kick for the Hawks.
Well, if they get the ball in a bit quicker, they may have to take a risk and go to a 1-on-1 or a 2-on-2, the Hawks, but it's better than turning the ball over across the midfield. This is why their numbers of possessions in midfield are so great. They're not prepared to get it in long. They want to get a chest mark each and every time. Now we get an opportunity.
McGlynn just pops it up in the air. Very tough for the forwards. Guerra coming through. Can he get boot to ball? Not quite. Kangaroo defence holding up. Brown though, handle stolen by Campbell. Now Roughhead. Tight in the pocket. Hurries the shot at goal and misses to the near side.
I reckon they've got the personnel, Danny, to take advantage of the longer kick there. I don't think the Kangaroos have, but get it in there quickly and back him in.
You're right. Hawthorn definitely look more dangerous with that high ball. You've got Roughhead, Franklin, Boyle and even Dixon. So take a risk, get it in there and just see what happens.
If you joined us late, Trent Crowe, the withdrawal from the Hawks 22, replaced by Jared Roughhead. Kangaroos by 5 points. This one has waxed and waned from the outset. Sainsbury long to half forward. Campbell the contact. Waiting down Hale, knocking it clear. Campbell putting the pressure on, then trapping the ball in well. They'll appeal for a free kick. The umpire lets it go, and Hale's got Rawlings in support. Quick hands. McIntosh pumps it into the pocket. Thomas has got to beat a couple. Gillum easy spoil.
Good effort by Young. He's a wingman on the outer side of the ground, and when that ball was coming across, he just positioned himself in the space, and in the end, there he comes across. He didn't quite get there, but he forced that kick wide.
Hale for Swallow. Goal face opens up. Swallow drives it through. Well, in a low-scoring game, Danny, the opportunistic goals are going to be so important.
Got to take the most of your opportunities. Now, I don't think Ross Smith, the defensive coach down there in Hawthorn, will be too happy with this, Jared. We've got no quarterback here. Just open up the gate. See, there's no Hawthorn player. Probably just reacted. He was there, but probably reacted a little bit too slow. Just opened up that goal face too much for mine. If he had been stationary and behind there, he would have been able to come on and prevent either a tackle or bury a smother.
Just his third senior goal, the former captain of the WA under-18 squad, Andrew Swallow. For the first time today, the Kangaroos get back-to-back goals. 34 playing 23. See the Hawks adjusting defensively. Campbell the head out. Lewis wrapped up by Harris. High tackle.
Well, we've gone back to a loose player at each end now, Jerry. We've got Lee Brown at one end and Danny Jacobs at the other.
And it's Lewis going to half forward.
Well, to me, that'd be Dean Laidley saying, I'll bank this 2-goal lead.
Yep.
Put the big man, the anvil, down there in the space and see if we can just stop them from scoring.
Gibson outmarks Dixon.
There's Brown.
To Green. Oh, very neat little work by the former Eagle. Goes for Watt. And he's got Harris with Brown. Run on. Petrie, look out, collision course. Had to go to the fist. Hodge lost it. Harris. Ruse a chance now. It could open up. The bounce is important. Jacobs there got in the way. Harris now brought down by Mitchell. Somehow slings it out. Young wrapped up. Sainsbury clever. Knocked it on to McIntosh. Quickly into the pocket for Hale. Goes to ground. Gillum good pressure. Thomas tried to scoop it up. It's out. It's a boundary throw in.
The throw in.
That was fantastic play there from Gillum. Looked like Hale was going to mark that, and just the body pressure brought the ball to the ground. So that was great play there.
Now, what price? Another one for the Kangaroos here. Pressing again. Brown mown down by Simpson. In the back.
Back there, hold there.
Goes quickly to the outer side.
One more step back, please.
Those tackles where you're tackling from behind, you've got to drop your knees a lot quicker to prevent that in the back.
Gillum short Mitchell. Hawks with just 3 goals, 5. And they keep it in the defensive 50. Jacobs now will go to Lewis. Franklin's run on. Dangerous ball. Dangerous ball. Easy one for Watt to spoil, albeit committed.
Good courage, Franklin.
Yep, Ferrito to centre half forward, and it does not find Sainsbury. Campbell Brown in the way.
They've had the bloke peel off the Kangaroos and read that ball back into space pretty well. They just haven't followed them down. They've stayed 1 or 2 back, so they've had to kick it over that loose line.
Gibson, the spoil again on Dixon, making life tough for the veteran Hawk as Lewis goes to half forward. It's over for a boundary throw-in. Franklin lunging unsuccessfully.
The Hawthorn coaching staff at half-time, they've got to somehow isolate Franklin and Williams. That's going to be the key. And I know Dean Laidley won't want to give them that, but if they can get that match-up and get some one-on-ones in there, there's still a good chance to win this game.
5 minutes from half-time. Simpson is brought down. Boyle of the Hawks, gang tackled. Watt, quick hands, Sinclair decides to keep it in. Pratt runs it out.
Throw it in.
There is the coach of the Hawks, Alistair Clarkson, a former Kangaroo player for 134 games, 93 goals, and then went on to play 41 games at Melbourne. Sinclair over the top. Now they should work together here, Swallow and McIntosh. And Swallow is brought down. Good pressure by Hodge. And the Hawks can go now. Finally, Lewis short. There's the space for Williams, albeit wide, but he is a marksman, this young star.
Well, that's going to be the key all night. On the turnover, with a great tackle like that, the opposition have got to hit pay dirt. They've got to score and make the most of their opportunities.
1 goal, 1 tonight for Mark Williams, both in this quarter. The behind was a poster.
No closer, Michael, no closer.
His team needs a goal. He can't provide it. Adam bounds on the full.
Well, when Swallow was coming through the middle of the ground there, you could see that his conditioning was short, always looking for another handball. If he had have looked up and long, because he was on the run and he was only 50 metres away from getting it into the taller forwards. There's so much space down there with such congestion that it's worth looking up as well as looking for that short disposal.
Here's Swallow.
2 metres, Clint.
If the Kangaroos continually flip a Lucy back, there's a little bit of a thing to say, let's go one-on-one. Even if we've got 8 forwards, at least get it in there. And I know it exposes you up the other end, but just do that for a couple of minutes just to see what does happen. Gives the forwards confidence knowing they've got a one-on-one.
Patience, patience, patience. Kangaroo fans at the moment. Rawlings keeps it in the defensive 50. Harris says we're cool.
3 minutes to go, though. It's just a very slow and arduous brand of footy at the present time. It's working. They're working hard. There's no doubt about that.
At the moment, the Roos have won the quarter by 4 points, winning plenty of the quarters this year. Put them in the game. Crowd are giving it to them.
Well, I think Dean Larley just wants the 4 points. He doesn't care what they win by. They desperately need 4 points.
Yeah, he's not into the aesthetics right now. He said that this week. Disappointed for the boys, not getting reward for their effort. But if we're satisfied, we're basically kidding ourselves. We're zipped 2. We need a victory. This has been about a minute 20 so far on the build-up. They've moved it 50 metres. It's Pratt with the footy.
There's a looking down there, Ron.
They've been told via the runner to slow the game down. So as you can see, when they move it slowly, this is all they want to do. They just want to shut it down before half-time.
Well, let's do a 50-50 ball now. 2 minutes from half-time. Simpson with the fly. In the back three to Hawthorn. Advantage play on. Hodge to the centre corridor.
Good chance here.
McLean. Williams on the lead out wide. He'll get it. One grab, not the second.
Free kick.
A push. Not an arm chop. An arm chop is called.
I just think the umpires are going to pay advantage. It's got to be fair to both sides. I mean, everybody had stopped there, and then the umpire looks up 4 or 5 seconds after he paid the free kick. We are the only sport, as we have a look at this chop of the arms, and it was there. We're the only sport in the world that pays advantage after you have a whistle.
And it's just not right when 80% of the players stop. Yeah. And one clever one, albeit clever one, that's to play on. Well, 1-1 and 1 out of bounds is returned this quarter. And the Kangaroo fans say there's an element of justice as Mark Williams sprays another shot at goal.
Not sure what Mark's doing differently, but he just looks as if he's overstriding at the present time. When he's in great form, he generally takes 2 or 3 little steps and keeps himself balanced and rarely misses the rifleman.
Well, you can just about throw out the statistics now on this one as the Kangaroos continue to pad out the numbers. We're now into the final minute of the first half, but they're still protecting an 11-point lead. Good kick to Green. What would be really crushing for the Hawks is if the Roos sweep it forward and goal in the final half minute. And it might be a chance. Ferrito to Hale. Inside 50. Searle goes to ground. Didn't open up for Pratt, and Danny Jacobs was there for a nice pickup. Lewis, we're down to 25 seconds, and there's a heck of a lot of space on the dockside wing for the Hawks. Guerra fires the ball to Dixon. Drives it long. Williams coming out. Sinclair to beat. In from the side. Burrito the pressure on. Boyle, Green. Boyle still a chance. It's through for behind.
But I think that's what they've got to talk about, the Hawks, at half-time. They elected to come via the long way, right around the wing, where if the bloke who was kicking the ball from the half-back line had looked inside the middle of the ground, Danny, there was a spare there. Then they go bang up the middle, and Mark Williams can lead up the corridor, not to the pocket.
You're absolutely spot on, Jared. The key word you said there was look in. Get the ball, and your first option is to look in the corridor. There's nothing on then. Take the opposition on and go wide then, but get the ball and have a look in the corridor. Very hard to kick it in there if you're not looking in there.
Well, I tell you what, there's a lot of Kangaroo supporters here that are absolutely thrilled. The Hawks aren't happy. For all us neutrals, if you enjoy Chinese water torture, you are loving this. This is just a great spectacle for those of you that like the drip on the forehead.
I tell you what, it's going to be a tense second half, isn't it? It's the Kangaroos 5-4-34. Leading Hawthorn 3-6-24. The boys from Arden Street. Are they a half away from their first win of the year? Find out. More to come. Roos by 10 points on Sunday Night Football.
Half-time at the Dome, it is the Kangaroos by 10 points in what's been a gruelling battle. They've had extra players back behind the ball, and it has really been a rough and tough arm wrestle to date. Not a lot of to talk about is by way of stats. Harris, of course, is getting a multitude of stats in the middle of the ground. As we have a look at the disposals, the Hawks actually really did continue to rack up the numbers through the middle of the ground, and the contested possessions and uncontested relatively even there. But it's not so much the stats at the present time. This is very much about tactics, Danny, and there's been so much pressure from both sides. It's been very tough to earn a kick in the clinches.
Well, it's a game of chess. And Dean Lately, the first 2 weeks, went out and we have a look at the pressure here. The tackling's been there. But Dean Lately's definitely gone out there with a game plan of trying to stifle the Hawthorn run. Yep. Last week against Melbourne, they were terrific. Against Brisbane in round 1, Brisbane flooded. They flooded back and Hawthorn a little bit confused. So the pressure from both sides has been there, but we haven't seen a lot of highlights. But you just see the tackling is so important. Sides have got to capitalise on those tackles.
I think what we're seeing here is the Kangaroos basically accepting that whilst the game's moved on for a lot and we're seeing shootouts for some of the more talented sides, they haven't got that talented player and they have to make everything an arm wrestle.
Well, they haven't, because every time the Kangaroos have gone long into their forward 50, yep, Hawthorn have just spoiled the ball. Now, at the other end, Petrie's been free at times, has also been their ruckman. For mine, I reckon the Hawthorn coaching staff should look at even going one-on-one. Even if you've got 8 forwards, at least you're kicking to a contest, because their forward line for mine looks a little bit more dangerous than the Kangaroos.
Danny, you picked up one particular goal that shouldn't have been for the Kangaroos because the Hawthorn didn't quite have their men adjusted properly. Now, Swallow we see come through here, but I think that you were talking about a player who comes on screen very late in the piece. I think it may be Luke Hodge. We'll get at the stop right there.
And that's spot on, Jared. Hodgie's positioning should have been another 2 metres to the left at the start of the stoppage, because what it did, it allowed Swallow to run through and have a look at the goals. If Hodge had been standing there stationary, Swallow would have looked at the ball and got confused, and either Hodge would have tackled or smothered the ball. The one bloke who's adding some polish to this match is Daniel Wells. He was probably curtailed a little bit late in the second half, but he was on fire early, and they should have had 3 quick goals, the Kangaroos, through his efforts. Yeah, look, in the first 10 minutes, I think he had something like 7 possessions, and obviously Hawthorn reacted to that, but they've really capitalised on his play, and that's probably the key. There's no Nathan Thompson for the Kangaroos to Wells to capitalise on, but he was electric nice and early. And look, there has been a lot of possessions all over the ground, but at least his possessions, he runs and carries and gets the ball inside the Kangaroos forward line. Would you like to see him one out in the forward 50 at some stage? I think they've got to try that. I think they've got to try some different things. Shannon Grant's only had the 4 possessions. Sewell's done a very good job on him. Probably swap roles. Put Shannon Grant in the middle because he's a good ball user, and put Wells, isolate him in the forward 50 like Williams up the other end. That'd be exciting. I'm a great fan of the Kangaroos captain in Adam Simpson. He's been around for a long time. His leadership, I think, is first class. Well, he's had the 16, 17 possessions. His clearance work has been absolutely sensational, and he leads the way. He's got the shin bone of spirit there. There's no Glenn Archer out there. They really need their leaders playing in and under, and him and Harris, look, they've combined beautifully tonight. And of course, look, for mine, their 2-goal lead is probably like a 6-goal lead the way the game's being played. So Simpson's leading the way in the way their style is happening out there tonight. Well, Danny, the captain of the Hawks, Vandenberg, is going to join us, and he's going to be talking to Clinton Gribus straight after this, with the Kangaroos leading by 10 points at half-time.
Rifleman, usually such an accurate marksman. 4 shots at goal in the second quarter for Hawk star Mark Williams, and still got some work to do on the radar. 1-1 and 2 out of bounds his return as the Hawks make their way back onto the Telstra Dome. The Kangaroos alongside. It's 5-4-34 the Roos. Hawthorn 3-6-24. Rowan Smith has been, well, heading through the corridors here at the Telstra Dome, prizing out some information which he'll bring to us now.
Thanks very much, Clinton. With Hawthorn, I think that Lance Franklin has just been struggling a little bit up the ground. He's been going deep into their back line to get some possessions. A move for him would be to go forward, to go deep forward together with Williams. I think that'll be a potent combination for them. For North Melbourne, they just can't afford to turn the ball over in the midfield. You've seen the Hawthorn run through the midfield, and that could be damaging for them as well.
Do you see the game opening up, Rowan, in the second half?
I can't, because the major reason that the teams have been playing has been playing with a 3-man three-man forward line and everyone else in the midfield. So I can't see it opening up unless they go back to a conventional forward line.
All right, look forward to your comments throughout the second half. Rowan Smith joining us on Sunday Night Football as you have a look at the Telstra Dome. Roof is closed for this one. And it looks like we're going to be set for a pretty close finish as the Kangaroos pursue their first win of the year.
And there's been a challenge put up too by our resident weatherman.
Yeah.
Danny still thinks it's slippery out there, and I'm actually in support of him because I think the top centimetre of turf out there is definitely soft. Now, there's no dew out on the ground, as our other weatherman down there told us. That is absolutely dry, Spud, but the grass cutters aren't holding.
Well, they're slipping over a little bit, and I suppose getting onto the game, the big challenge for Hawthorn is they need to get one-on-one. And it's easier said than done because Dean Laley doesn't want that to happen. Now, you can do two things. You can go one-on-one and have 9 forwards, which expose you up the other end with 3 forwards. But probably one move you could put is Crawford's getting tagged by Rawlings. You could start him on the half-forward flank and let him go and play after the bounce. That'll at least empty out one out of your forward 50. Because if they can get Williams, Franklin, Roughhead and Boyle one-on-ones in their forward line with some space, they're going to cause some damage. So that's going to be the big challenge early on in this game. Of course, to do that, you need to win some of the ball.
One of the interesting starting spots is that Sam Mitchell is starting outside of the square. Unless he's about to sneak in because one of their tall wingmen is about to drop out. No, he's going in, and Sam Mitchell.
Well, that could be a good move. Maybe Mitchell and Crawford, who's next to him, maybe they're getting tagged, and then they can go and play, which then will open it up the forward 50. So that could be a good tactic.
Second half underway. Hawks to the right, Roos to the left, enjoying a 10-point lead. And it will continue to be hot and tight in there. Hodge dispossessed by Jones, who knocks it to Wells. Will he light up the dome in the second half in the path of Pratt? Back to Wells. Kick inside the 50. Well, getting in front, Birchall elected not to take the mark. Affects a boundary throw in half forward out of side.
What you said is exactly what's happened here, Danny, except they've done it with 2. But the Kangaroos have still left one man out. Now, I'm not sure whether or not it'd work, but if the Hawks now dropped a man in the space between this pack and 80 metres up the ground where there's nobody, that would then drag Petrie up the ground.
You're right, Jared, and it's Grant Birchall at the moment. If he could push forward into the centre square, Petrie would have thought, what, do I go back and defend or do I have to man up?
Currently, there is vacant real estate from this pack here you see at the foreground, and Petrie on the left, right up to where this contest is, a good 100 metres away. Russian roulette on a football field. Hamill at break. Maybe the Hawks' way here. Although 2 players almost went to say yours. Birchall picks it up in the end and the Hawks can go now. Mitchell threads it through the middle. Good build-up. Ladson with that space in front. Forwards will lead out. Going back, Osborne. Wonderful kick to him. And Osborne can goal early in the 3rd quarter.
Well, that's a great kick and a great matchup because Osborne, he's done a fair job on Harvey, but he's better overhead. He is a very good overhead mark, Michael Osborne, and that is a great centre break for Hawthorn. Run the ball through the middle of the ground. That's the key. If they can get it through the middle, you've got 2 or 3 options going forward then.
A foot injury kept him to just 4 games last year. Playing his 2nd this season. Important kick. On its way. Close. It's good. Osborne with 2. And the Hawks grind their way back to within 4 points.
Well, you take that every day of the week, Jared. When your tagger is playing on Brent Harvey, and Harvey's had the 12 possessions. He's had 9, but kicked 2 important goals. And look, this is a great break here from Hawthorn. Mitchell, that's the key. He cut into the middle. He didn't look out. He looked in the corridor to Ladson. Ladson has another look in the corridor. That is good play. There's no doubt the coaching staff at Hawthorn, the way we've seen him play this first minute, has said, boys, take him on through the middle of the ground.
And I think it's being set up, Danny, because of Crawford and Mitchell starting outside of the square. They're starting across the centre-half forward position, and they're dragging their men into the area, which opens up the space.
Campbell, the hit out. Harris, the recovery. Holding the ball. Mitchell says, we'll take it, thank you. Pumps it long in the Franklin direction. And all of a sudden, the Hawks can be in front.
Space between the centre clearance and the forward line, and that allowed Sam Mitchell to come through without people coming in and closing down on his space. I don't think it was a great kick. I thought it was a great mark.
Well,
Franklin wind it.
I'll tell you what it does to the defence, Jared. It puts the defence under the pump.
If he can't take it, he has to go off, but he wants to take it, he can.
Of course he wants to take it. He's 15 metres out. And it started in the middle for the Hawks. The pressure.
Well, here we see the pressure there, and we see Mitchell, who started outside the square, Jared, and then just drove the ball long. That's a dangerous kick. It puts the back line under the pump. Gee, that was a good contested mark.
Great mark. Farito had the set. Shannon Watt out of position. Just athleticism and courage, got it, and ability.
This to put Hawthorn in front, and he's missed it to the left-hand side. Second behind for Lance Franklin, and that is a huge let-off for the Roos. It's 4-7 to 5 goals for.
It's a huge let-off his direct opponent too, Clinton, because he's taken a great contested mark, yet missed the goal.
Oh, speaking of marks, Adam Simpson almost working his way to the highlight reel. Roos get it regardless. Sainsbury to Hale. Short, ineffective kick. Harvey putting the pressure on Birchall. Ball held in a bounce.
Head between your legs.
Adam Simpson at 31. Still getting into rarefied air. Lewis.
Good hands.
Quick. Hodge loops it over the top for Mitchell.
Haven't touched it yet, the Kangaroos in this quarter.
Oh, look at that. Precise. Guerra to Young, who is a thumping kick of the footy. More so when he's on the run.
Well, the key to that kick again, Guerra looking in the middle of the corridor, Jared.
And Young thinks he's a chance here.
Grew up a Kangaroos fan. With the 21-year-old from Minyuk Murtoa. From 55, gives it a ride. Hooks it, getting the distance. The deficit now just 2 points.
On the boundary line. Smithy, you've been having a look at Hodge.
What's allowing Mitchell and Crawford to play in the forward line is the jobs that Hodge and Lewis are doing in the midfield. They're outstanding at the centre breaks and also at stoppages.
Gillum, the spoil. Birchall, the gabber. Handball stolen for Rito. Collaboration with Harris. Now Harvey. Will he go long? Doesn't want it. Harris stalked by Birchall. Slips. Back for Farito. Caught by Hodge.
Got to kick it in there.
Corey Jones now. Trying to find an opening on 50. Still trying to find an opening. It's gone. And the Hawks get the effort.
And essentially now the Hawks are playing the reverse of what the Kangaroos did. They had all the numbers back and now they've got an open padding.
Ledson to Williams. Can he get around Gibson? Not yet.
Kick.
Retreats to Mitchell. Down the middle is Crawford. Inside 50, Boyle. Bounced off the chest. The pressure late provided by the Kangaroos. The young man in Thomas. Jacobs centering ball for Young. Brought down by Wills. Good pressure, Roos. Simpson goes along to the wing. Important ball now. Got to be committed, Grant. He is. Got it on there nicely. Thomas looping handball. Campbell delivers inside 50. Great fluid build up by the Kangaroos, and Edwards takes the mark.
He knows how to find it, Edwards. He knows how to grab it when he gets an opportunity, but he's now got to kick it on the big stage.
Well, it was good play from Gillum. He couldn't do much about it, but he's pushed him out wide and kept him out of the corridor, so it's going to be a difficult set shot on goal.
Written and spoken by the president of the Fullbacks Union.
45 metres out. Look at that. He kicked 100 last year for Frankston in the VFL. He gets his second in a Kangaroos jumper, and it was timely. They're back out to an 8-point lead.
Well, the game's open, full of running, Gerard, which is great. The tackling has been there also, but that was great ball use from the Kangaroos there. Important touch here for Shannon Grant. Only the 4 touches in the first half. If he can come into his own, that's danger signs for the Hawks.
Well, we've got big penetration, Fox Sports, up in China, and even they were getting bored with the Chinese water torture in the first half, so the message has got through, Danny.
Certainly has.
Let's hear the voice.
Aaron Edwards with impressive ink work to boot. You got a tattoo, Danny?
Oh, you're kidding. Oh, God. I'm the last bloke to get a tap.
Harris to Wells, he'll go all the way. Can he kick it? It'd be pretty spectacular. He can't. It dies on its way to the goal square. Knocked away from Grant by Sewell, but there's still a chance. Edwards, he sold his teammate Thomas into a fair bit of heavy traffic. Hawks won't concede a behind. Will go short for Osborne.
Got to get some hard runners here now. The Kangaroos push back.
Oh, danger ball. Campbell caught. Slips away. Well done, big man.
Run through the middle again. This is good sign.
Lewis flares it out wide for Young. The run provided by Mitchell. Got space in front. delivers precisely to Hodge. Wonderful setup.
Well, your leaders, Mitchell and Hodge, Jared. Mitchell has been the one at the start of this third quarter. He's got the ball and continually looked in the middle of the ground. He hasn't taken the easy option out wide. And, of course, Luke Hodge has ran the length of the ground to get a shot on goal 30 metres out directly in front.
I think what would be disappointing Dean Laidley and his coaching staff most on that passage of play was when the ball was turned over, there weren't enough blokes charging into the defensive area to help out. There's about 4 or 5 in the middle there now with hands on their hips, and they have been walking for too long.
Hodge misfires.
A couple of let-offs now for the Kangaroos.
You're right, that's disappointing because they should be in front. They've dominated the start of this third quarter. They've only been going 9 minutes. So I know the Kangaroos have kicked a goal, but it's been all Hawthorn, yet they've only kicked 1 goal, the Hawks.
The Hawks return 4 goals, 9, and 2 out of bounds from Williams from 15 shots at goal. They're 7 points adrift as they search to become the 10th club to start the season 2-1. Hale to the outer wing. Jones, good use of the body. A subtle nudge on Brown, and the mark is paid. Goes short. Harris busts the tackle. Kicks long inside the 50. Edwards knocking it down. Campbell kept his footing. Couldn't get to the contest, though. Sewell working with Osborne. Now Crawford in the back pocket. Men are on Young at half-back. And goes short to Roughhead, declines that option.
Inside again,
Yeah, better one inside was Lewis. Figueroa straight down the corridor. Jacobs committed, good mark.
Ball's just coming out of the Kangaroo forward line way too easy at the present time, and the run from defence from the Hawks is setting them up for these shots.
Jacobs going to go short. Roughhead leading wide.
Bad option.
Petrie on his hammer. Still Roughhead goes for the boundary line. Franklin keeps it in somehow. Lee Brown was there for the tackle. Hot footy right now. Kangaroos away. Watt setting up Wells. Off for Drew Petrie. Look out. About to be mown down. Did well to get boot to ball. Not 15. Play on the call. Rawlings forces it out. Brown and gold everywhere. Guerra's dragged down as well. Now Green. Thumping kick. Bounce important. Over the head there of the leading Shannon Grant. Sewell sidesteps around Edwards. That was good. Now Campbell Brown. Hawks can reload. Guerra, too wide, out of the ball.
Here's Corey Jones.
Advantage is paid as Campbell for Jones. Dinky little kick to the forward pocket for Edwards. Now it's a very tight angle. He's going to look to pass it off, is he? Now the umpire will come in to set the mark.
Back 2 metres,
Well, turnovers in football.
Campbell, you're not listening. Back.
They just cost you because Campbell Brown's kick, seriously, had to do better than that. Had to hit the target. And the result, a shot on goal for the opposition.
Get back on the line, please, Aaron. That's it.
Should have been a shot for Corey Jones, though. Even Matty Campbell's kick coming into the middle should have hit the target.
Towards me.
He's doing some work, the ump.
Edwards across the face, out of bounds on the full. So he's had 4 shots at goal, 1 and 2 out of bounds, and he's frustrated.
Mark's there. Shannon, hold there, mate.
I think you'll find a lot of points kicked tonight, Clinton, because of the fact of opposition sides putting loose players in the corridor. It forces the opposition wide.
You saw Daniel Wells go down there, and he's still a little proppy as he stays out on the field. Sewell for the Hawks with the footy. There is Wells, little ginger. Keep the camera running for the next few moments for our Fox Sports active viewers as Ladson goes long. Pratt goes to ground. No whistle. Dixon should work with Williams here, although Ferrito did well. Now Dixon slaps it for Williams. Simpson happy to hand him in on the boundary line. Ladson long to the hot spot. Franklin is there. So's Boyle. Gibson does well for the Roos. Is he going to concede? Rawlings keeps it in. Pratt flirting with disaster. They might get away with it. Petrie, wobbly kick. Ladson in the way again. Tumbles it back towards Boyle. Pratt in the way. It's tense footy right now. These 2 teams are desperate. Swallows about to get caught up. Got it to Ferrito. And they clear the danger zone with McIntosh going to the wing. Hale just fisting it down. Corey Jones tripped up. Play on is the call. Birchall from Mitchell. Caught by Swallow. Got the handball to Taylor. Look out Crawford. Big ball to be won. Campbell Brown. 60 metres out to the pocket. Leading out Dixon. Takes it on the bounce. Steadies on the right foot. And
go.
Big play from the Hawks. And it's a one-point game again at the Dragons.
Well, the Hawks are pressing Jared. They've had a number of shots on goal. They really needed that because they've had all the momentum in 13 minutes of football in this third quarter. But it's no use having momentum if you don't get scoreboard pressure. You see Croft nearly lose his strides there. Again, look, it was a kick to space. Probably should have hit the target with Dixon, but Dixon just the old master. Bang, straight over the top of the goal umpire's hat.
It looked like a mismatch because the ruckman was back there minding Dixon, and he was moving like a tram.
Nothing wrong with that, Jared. I played like one.
Both coaches testing the communications of the dome on the phone, feverishly making moves. Taylor the hit out. This is Campbell ducking away from the would-be Hawk pursuers, running his full measure, thumping it long to the goal square. Hale wrapped up by Gillen. Good pressure by the young Hawk defence. And Brown sends it near the boundary line, but not quite over yet. He followed it up well. Got it onto McGlynn. And the Hawks are running now. McGlynn for Brown. Two bounces. Got the Shepherd. Up to the wing. Has support still. McGlynn kept on running for him. Down the corridor. Crawford the mark. Wonderful build-up. Deserves something. And they've got it with Williams.
Best passage of play for the night, Clinton. Well called. Really, the key to that was Clinton was calling it and he couldn't get, well, the play was just bang, bang, bang. It was just magic football. Obviously, it started with Campbell Brown just taking the ball on, and of course Crawford, the keys, where to get it in the corridor and quickly played on.
Big kick now from Williams. 25% conversion rate thus far for goals tonight. He squeezed it through by the barest of margins. We saw a couple in Sydney earlier today, which we disputed. Looked like they grazed the post but were paid a goal, and that was a very fine line. The Hawks are in front.
Well, it was just once again the run from defence. It was an ordinary kick into the defence by, I think it was Thomas, and they just rebounded it beautifully, the Hawks. Good possession, good running, and a finish that split the big ones, albeit by an inch.
Is that a mini Cobra? Look, Williams after the goal there, Jared.
That stung the Kangaroos, whatever it was.
Always liked the rifle myself. But the Cobra's not bad, Danny. We should be encouraging that. We like colourful identities in the game. The Hawks are in front for the second time today. 3-1 here in this third quarter.
Well, the move of Crawford and Mitchell starting out of the square then coming in has definitely worked. That's good coaching there from Alistair Clarkson and the coaching staff.
How will the Kangaroos respond now?
Knock it out!
Osborne over it. Campbell. Simpson. Volleyball tap was good for Harvey. Draws the defence, loops the handball straight to Mitchell of the Hawks. Ellis. Oh, look at the space. McGlynn. Well, they're closing fast. He was very, very quick on the chase. It was Sainsbury. He couldn't get him. The kick inside 50 for Williams. Couldn't hang on. Ferrito sets up Rawlings. Got it on quickly though. Might have heard Hodge coming. Now Swallow. Tried to squeeze the kick through. Desperate lunge by Ellis. Might have been hurt in the smother. Crawford a high handball. Young is dunked illegally. Through to the Hawks.
That was a great smother, Quinn. It wasn't just an average smother by Ellis. It was a great smother because they've got all the momentum. A goal the other way would have robbed them of that. And now they've got an opportunity to kick another one.
That wrestle continues. The footy to centre half forward. McGlynn's kick is smothered. As you check the replay, Kangaroos holding up. Do-Will, Petrie to Swallow.
Dangerous kick.
Yep, Sill knocking it away. Wrapped up. Mitchell in support.
Good hands.
Swallow. Ferrito did well, just lurked on the side of the pack. Takes the handball received, long to Jones. Campbell Brown there, did he infringe? No. Harvey so dangerous, so creative, but the Hawks aware of that. Good tackle. Jones back to Harvey to put the Kangaroos back in front.
Oh, goal.
Loading up the dome on Sunday Night Football. This one's come alive and the Kangas have the lead again.
Just got to be of great admiration for the work rate of the Kangaroos. They're down on ability, but they're hanging in there just on gut-busting work here. There's too many fumbles. but there's a steely will about them at the present time. Whether or not they've got enough energy to keep going with these Hawks is the question that remains.
Oh, Corey Jones just stood up in the tackle. He had 3 or 4 hanging off him, and the will and the want for him to kick a goal or create a goal for his teammates was absolutely first class.
If I look at Andrew Swallow the last couple of minutes, he's on Mitchell. They are not too dissimilar in athleticism, but I reckon he's due for a rest on the bench.
Taylor, long and direct from the big man. Dixon got Gibson out of it. Near the boundary line, Williams in front of Pratt and wins a free. Just a little sloppy Pratt. Williams, the only thing he could win there was a free kick because he was diving on it towards the line. Pratt just had to let him do that and try to avoid the free kick.
He's capable, the rifleman. He can thread this.
Another look. Just put his body on the line to perfection. And Williams, this is what they call tight against the boundary. Move the chairs, please, gentlemen. Thank you.
Got 2 options, really. Top of the square or have a shot. I guess a ball can run around, open up the angle would be the other one, but players in that zone.
Goes for it. Says. Another lead change. Williams with 3. And suddenly, the marksman is back to being a dead-eye.
That was a magnificent kick. I'm not sure whether we had a mini cobber or just to the crowd, just say, look, give me a little bit of something. But look, he's a super talent. And you're right, Clinton. Young Pratt, look, he was exuberant, but he just probably had to lay off there a little bit. As we see Williams dive, he was always going to the ground. So all he had to do was corral the boundary line. If he was going to get the ball, he would have to kick a miraculous one from play. But as it was, he's had a set shot, had time, and here he is, just looking at the crowd, just saying, give me something of this, yeah, a mini cobra.
Fifth lead change of the match. 3 of them in this quarter alone. Hawks have opened it up with 4 goals to 2. We'll get a second bounce in the middle.
Brian Smith, they're trying to get some fresh legs in the middle. And Adam Simpson off the ground, but the big man's coming on.
Yeah, that's right. Lee Brown's moving up forward now. He started down back, and they've also got McIntosh up forward as well. So I think they're going a little bit taller, trying to stretch Hawthorn.
A hold, a Hawthorn free. They've had the last 10 free kicks of the match now. And Crawford spears it to Dixon, who is going to dispute the mark here because every metre will count when he's kicking from 51.
I think it's the middle they've got to have some concerns with here, the Kangaroos. Yep. They've got to get their best winners in there at the moment because that's where the Hawks are getting on top.
Ben Dixon looking for his second of this third quarter.
Thanks, Andrew. Hold there, mate. Don't go in. Case. Go with him, mate.
Kicked 39 last year. Can he cover the journey from 50? The journey was all right. The accuracy was astray. It's a goal the difference.
One player you talk about there, Jared, Shannon Grant, only had the 5 possessions. He's one guy that can just set him alight in there. Probably got to roll the dice because he doesn't look like it up in the forward line at the moment.
Sainsbury to Green.
Boomer Harvey is another one that could push up into the middle for a bit of fresh running.
Curious one there. Sounded like the whistle had gone for the mark. Play on was the call. Hodge the handball to midfield for Mitchell. Flooding that outer side. The run is back in the brown and gold. Ladson to half forward. Perito the spoil on Williams for a throw-in.
We just sense the game's opening up, and I think it's a leg speed issue at the moment. You just sense that the Hawthorn Footy Club are a little bit quicker across the ground than the Kangaroos.
And I think it's they play such a high energy level of the Kangaroos. I mean, the style of play that they're utilising in the first half robs them of a lot of run, and I think their second rotation is well behind their first.
Hale to the wing, Sewell the glide. Recovery good, short kick perfect. Mitchell to mark. Drives it inside the 50. Lewis will run onto it. Watt goes to him. It frees up Franklin, but he's away. So are the Hawks. The lead is 2 goals. Franklin gets his first. Well, the Hawks have kicked 5 getting this third term.
Magnificent play, but Shannon Watt, look, he was on Lance Franklin. All he had to do was corral the corridor. He was great play from Lewis here, but you see Shannon Watt, he was doing nothing. He was just running in and just saying, well, handball it over me direct opponent in the corridor and I'll let him kick a goal. Really, he had to stay on Franklin and force his teammate to put some more pressure on Lewis.
Had to feel sorry there in some respects for Hale, though. He ended up chasing Lewis. I'm not sure why Lewis was allowed to get out the back, but that's what the coach would be asking right now. Too many guys whipping out the back, and their ruckmen haven't got the athleticism to go with them.
Kangaroos staring down the barrel of a Norton 3 start. Hawthorn is surging. Hodge long kick marked by Gibson. And he'll get 52. Lingering with the tackle there was Tim Boyle.
We just sense the Kangaroos need to kick the next one.
Yep.
They need to kick the next goal. The momentum's all with the Hawks.
Now the Hawks getting back. Gibson with the footy. Spinning it 3, 4, 5 times. Gone! Just got his kick away. Good play by Williams. Read the situation well. More and more players doing that now, knowing the umpire will be quicker with the play on call. Rawlings kicks the Roos inside 50. Guerra bobs up with it. Defers to Jacobs, now Gillen, now Birchall, under pressure here. Quick hands required. Jacobs goes for the boundary line and should be able to find it for a throw-in. Another look as Gibson called the play on, and then the players just loitering a couple of metres off, wait for the umpire's call of play on, and then bang, they pounce like a cobra. On the throw-in.
Good hands.
Campbell to Thomas. The young Roos combine for a behind.
All the Kangaroos' possessions at the moment are hard work. They're always under pressure, and I think it's a leg speed issue. And the Hawks, when they get the ball, they've got time and space to deliver. So worrying times here for the Kangas.
We've checked inside at 3 minutes remaining, quarter number 3. Jacobs going long to the wing, and the Glenn's got the mark. Gillen is running for him.
He's been good.
And he pumps it long to the hot spot. Boyle went early, hands in the back, must be a free.
Shannon Grant coming from the ground. He's having a rest, and Daniel Wells is going to hopefully have an impact. He's going into the forward line. Grant with just Wells at the moment, but he's got to get close to goals.
Grant with just 5 possessions in his 200th game for the Roos. Thomas took a long time. The chase was terrific.
From Leighton, that was sensational.
But Thomas looked up, and there was absolutely no one leading from the Kangaroos. Everyone looks stuffed for the Kangaroos, and the Hawks are showing them how to run.
Well, they've been overrun a couple of times through the pre-season, and certainly by Collingwood in round 1, the Roos. Hawthorn doing a number on them here in the 3rd quarter as Lewis goes wide. Rough head caught by Petrie. Boundary throwing.
Physiological term, Danny. Stuff.
Yeah, also another one, Jared. The Hawks are all over the Kangaroos like a cheap suit. Seriously, they have not had one easy possession in the last 10 minutes.
And a contradiction, really, given the Kangaroos started their pre-season on October 16, earlier than anyone. Mitchell.
One out.
Boyle. Gibson. Boyle. High ball. Right to the goal square. Ferrito will concede a behind.
Sorry, I didn't see anything. Just another. Thanks, Mark. That's good.
2 straight kicks, the difference. Ferrito long. Hawks have got some numbers if it comes down, although Simpson is brilliant, and Campbell's got speed. 2 bounces. Draws the defence. Feeds it to his running mate in green, who goes towards Jones. Couldn't hang on. Goal square unguarded. Lee Brown blazing away for a behind.
Well, if you're not going to use Hale, you might as well get him off the ground, because he slows you right down, and there was an opportunity to play through him or either get him right in the goal square, Danny, because at the moment he's just slowing them down and they're running off him.
Correct, late, Jared, because he was on. You've got to have the confidence to kick to him. If you're not going to use him well, it's pointless him being up in the forward line.
Gee. Long nut 15. Good Sewell to Birchall, knocked away. Backs himself. Jones lunged. Sewell got away. Inside the final minute of the 3rd term. Petrie provides the volleyball spike down in the path of Harris. Couldn't control it. Can't concede another one here, the Kangaroos. Late in the 3rd quarter. Hawks are all over the top of them. Boyle going to Hodge. It might open up. It might open up. He's missed it to the left-hand side. That would have been a biggie.
Jared!
Would have thought he would have finished it. Luke Hodge.
Thank you.
We'll start with Brad Searle. He's done a great job on Shannon Grant. Last week, Travis Johnson only had the 8 possessions. Shannon Grant off the ground at the moment with only 5, so he's turning into a giant killer, Brad Searle.
Harris inside the final half minute. Oh, it's out on the full. Well, you can't afford those at this crucial stage. There's still time. 21 seconds. Taylor. Clock won't start till he brings it in, or it will now because he's told to play on. Handball to Young. He can drive them within range here. Jacobs had it knocked away by Simpson. McIntosh. Hale. Harris. Waits for it. Ball didn't come to him, but he was caught hard. Advantage is paid. Sinclair will mark. The time clock is going to beat them. Oh, heartbreaking is that. One more second was required. It was not there. It's three-quarter time, and the Hawks, after trailing by 10 at half-time, lead by 12 with a quarter to go.
Well, they worked incredibly hard in the first half, the Kangaroos. And I think it's actually telling right now it's going to be a monumental comeback if they can get over the top of the Hawks, Danny, because as it opened up, and it was good coaching to provide that open space up in that forward line, the Hawks' skills have just come to the fore, and I think their athleticism as well.
Look, it was great coaching, putting Crawford and Mitchell out of the square to open up that vacuum, but it was also the players' ability, Jared, to run the ball through the middle of the ground. You talked about in the second quarter, look in, and they used the corridor at every opportunity.
Quarter remains, 2 goals in it. Will Dean Laidley's men fight their way back for the first win of the year? Find out when we return on Sunday Night Football. The Hawks 60, the Roos 48. Nice touch from the boys out there. Having some fun on a Sunday night. Quarter to play. Hawks lead by 2 goals as they search to become the 10th AFL team to start the season 2-1. Mark Williams with 3 goals, including 2 in that third quarter. Osborne with a couple. Harvey the only multiple goal kicker for the Kangaroos with 2. Overall on the numbers, the Hawks have had 39 more possessions. 22 of those the uncontested forms. Clearances running the Kangaroos' way. And the Hawks with 7 more entries inside 50. The Roos with a couple of players down on their usual output. At ground level, Rowan Smith.
The Kangaroos have to find something here in this last quarter. I've turned to 2 players. Shannon Grant, he's gone down forward, deep forward. They should get him one out in their forward 50. He's been a match winner for them before. And also Jess Sinclair. I think they've lost his run off half-back today, so they can make that move to move him to half-back and get a little bit of run through the midfield.
All right, Rowan, thanks for that. Rowan Smith on our expert team, alongside of me, Jared Healy, Danny Ferrulli.
Danny, what do you think about the 2 ruckmen? It just look as if it slows the Kangaroos down to too great a degree, having them both out on the ground at the moment.
Yeah, well, the run's going to be super important, Jared. And you look at the stat, the handball receives. We've got Hawthorn 106, Kangaroos 84. You wouldn't have thought McIntosh and Hale are going to give you too many handball receives through the middle of the ground. And that's going to be super important. You're right. If Hale's going to walk down there and play as a forward, the midfielders and the back line have to have the confidence to go to him on a one-on-one, because he isn't able to get off his direct opponent. He's going to have to take a contested mark. So give him an opportunity by at least putting it in his direct area.
Yes, they've certainly got a lot of their attacks, the Hawks, in this third turn in the last quarter by that run from defence. And we saw Hale a couple of times chasing, and he just hasn't got the athleticism to stop them from getting out.
Got Gillum there doing a good job on Edwards, and Sam Mitchell starting outside the square again, which is a great ploy used at the start of the third quarter. So Alistair Clarkson, obviously, and why wouldn't you go with that tactic again?
Both teams rotating plenty. Roos with 51 changes, Hawks 48 through the bench. Final term on Fox Sports AFL Sunday Night Football. Hawks by 2 goals heading to the left of screen. Kangaroos need the first. Lewis, opening handball for Guerra. Long to half forward. Solid hands from Lance Franklin.
And it's just great to see blokes taking the ball out in the hands. Too often guys go with chest marks, but with the rules the way they are at the moment, there's a triple incentive to get strong in the hands and grab the ball out in front.
Still just 20 years of age, but a bright future beckons for the Hawk, wearing the famous number 23. The kick is long, but out to the left. The lead, 13 points.
Positive signs for Lance Franklin. Probably hasn't had one of his better games. As I said, only 20, but his work rate's been first class tonight.
Harris on halfback. Wells to the wing. Good ball, Sainsbury. Rick Ladson on the mark. Told to keep his position by the umpire. Sainsbury going wide. Boundary throw-in. Minute gone by of the final term. Kangaroos having lost heartbreakers to Collingwood and Port Adelaide in the opening 2 weeks. After being in front for much of those games. Have led for a good portion here. Green took too long holding the ball. Now, Hawks want 50. It would be stiff if that's paid. It will not be. Good pressure by Jordan Lewis. Had 26 possessions last week. Should eclipse that today. This will be 25. He's told to go now. Kicks to the wing. Good space by Osborne.
That's an area of his game he's really improved, Jordan Lewis.
Osborne with a floater in the direction of Guerra. Campbell holds off Guerra. Frees up Harris.
Good hands, Harris. He's worked hard all day.
Wells, Harvey, be significant if they can get involved. Taylor smothers the McIntosh kick. Green the knock on. Hawks were waiting in the form of Ladson. Osborne good sidestep. The kick lets him down. Harris the mark. Leading ball winner for the Kangaroos. 10 of his 26 possessions contested ball one. He's going to get another one. This time of the uncontested variety as he tries to spear it to Brown. Couldn't hang on. Hodge, Guerra. Jones wraps him up. Not before he gets it to Campbell Brown. Now Jacobs trying to get it to his own advantage. A free to the Roos. Advantage play on. Simpson with a loose man. It's Hale.
That's it. They've got to go to him and make him accountable, Birchall.
You're right, especially with on Birchall. Look, he's more of a running type, Grant Birchall, and he would be giving away about 6 or 7 centimetres.
Well, he was off and running when he saw Jacobs get the ball. He was charging down, and this little given overturn was what brought Hale into the match.
Got to kick it. He was their first round pick of the 2001 draft, number 7 overall, Hale. And he's missing the margin 2 straight kicks. 7-7 to 8-13. 3 minutes gone by. Final term. First goal, really crucial. Young, wide, Osborne. Patient. Short. It travels the required 15 for Sewell.
Interesting line-up in the Hawks forward 50. They've got 2 sets of pairs side by side. I suspect they're going to put a bit of a block on for each other depending on what side the ball comes in.
Jacobs can go short to the centre corridor. Campbell Brown wants it next. Birchall goes to him. He's quick running backwards, Campbell Brown. Now the important ball, the entry to the forward 50. Into the pocket, on the lead. Mark Williams has it again. And he's going to line up goal number 4.
Mark is here.
That's the difference in the build-up. Hawthorn were patient, then they looked for the free target to get it out the other side, and that was a magnificent kick there from Campbell Brown. It was just, as you said, Clinton, very patient, just put the ball out the space and drew Mark Williams onto the mark.
60 goals, 26 last year. Hawthorn's best. And bookended the seasons with 8 goals in rounds 1 and 22. This for 4 today to make it very hard for the Kangaroos now. It's a 3-goal lead.
He was a very, very good player. He's kicked most of his goals tonight outside the corridor, and that's because they've had Petrie most of the night standing 30 metres on his own in the corridor, which has forced Mark Williams to mark the ball most of the night outside the corridor, and that's a good return from any forward. 4 goals, 1 and 2 out in the full, so he's had plenty of opportunities.
Hawthorn have got 5 of the last 6 goals. Look at the eyes.
I don't want you to do that. meant to do that.
Umpires barking out the instructions with the Hawks in control now. Simpson drives it up in the hole. Campbell Brown, the epitome of courage.
Well, you've got to love him, don't you? He's done a very good job on Corey Jones, and he just went back without any thought process about injuring himself whatsoever.
Birchall to the wing.
This is good running as well. Dragging Edwards out from full forward. Excellent work.
Good mark too by Gillen. For Taylor. Into half forward. Franklin sees it over for a boundary throw-in.
That's a magnificent mark there for Campbell Brown. Just eyes for the ball. Protected the area where the ball went. Great mark.
Last 11 marks for the match, the Hawks. Wells for Simpson. Up to the wing. Brown affects the spoil. Crawford working with Ladson, with Mitchell. Swallow, good tackle. Birchall just one step ahead, the Hawks right now. Hodge, loose man in the centre corridor, goes to him. It's Osborne. Chips it over the top. McGlynn can mark and play on. Danger signs, red alert for the Kangaroos. McGlynn goes deep. Franklin can't mark. We'll get a boundary throw in.
What's been the big improvement in their play since half-time, getting the ball through the corridor.
28,481 on hand. Going without it, Petrie. Green unable to mark. Brown is wrapped up. Hodge with the pressure. Play on is the call. Should get a bounce now. We will. Can't see the Kangaroos turning this one around.
No, it's been looking unlikely since about 5 minutes into the third quarter, when they were freed up, the Hawks, and they have brought their athleticism to the fore. I think their skill base is excellent. Their athleticism is only going to improve over the years, and it's a darn good recovery after what was a horrible first match by the Hawks.
Mitchell with the interception at midfield. Weight of numbers there for the Hawks. Ladson to Guerra. Oh, put Birchall under some pressure, but he was up to the challenge as Crawford goes to half forward. Well, he might have been thinking about what to do with it, McGlynn. Will it be an error that hurts them at the other end? Sainsbury sends it out on the full, right near Rowan Smith, Rowan Smith, how do you see the Roos turning it around?
Well, I don't know why they started their pre-season on October the 16th, because they have got no run left in their legs at all. They've just got to get back to running through the midfielder, and I can't see where it's going to come from.
And Smithy, you didn't get your wish with Shannon Grant, one out in the square, mate. He's one out on the bench.
Yeah, that's the thing. I just can't understand why he's on the bench. He's just sitting there stretching. He's waiting to go on, but they need him on the ground.
He's had just 3 kicks, 2 hand passes, Shannon Grant today, as the Hawks go to Lewis, who marks acrobatically inside the forward 50.
Well, he's been everywhere tonight, Jordan Lewis. 5 clearances, 10 handball receives, 25 touches, 7 marks. This will just seal a great night for him if he can slot this.
Hasn't been a strong goal kicker in his career, so he elects to pass it off to Dixon. Takes it on the half volley. Gibson's got him. Was that holding the ball? If not, how did the ball prize itself clear? Play on. Pratt for Rito. Oh, caught. Williams. Fair tackle, said the umpire.
Quality.
Yeah. McGlynn pops it up from the 50. Now the Roos have got 2 on 1. Roughhead climbs and then brings down Swallow.
You throw that then, Swallow.
The umps have put the whistle away. Pratt. Harvey. Might be an entertaining finish. Jacobs with the sit, the spoil. Campbell. Well, they need a spark. They need a spark. Brown on the run from 45. Kick on its way across the face of goal. He's missed another one. The Roos with 2 behinds this term.
Let's just have a look at this disposal here. Swallow comes in, sees his man, and threw the ball to his end.
Well picked up, Jared.
Oh, good mark by McGlynn. 17 points, Hawthorn's lead. Nearly halfway through the final stanza. Kangaroos trying to avoid being 0-3 after the opening 3 rounds with a date at Carrara to play the Lions next week as Franklin marks on the forward 50.
You've got to like that mark, just the way he jumped early, he extended the arms, basically made it impossible for Shannon Watt to get anywhere near that. You just see Ben McGlynn kick it up, and just the jump early. 6'6", it's a long way up.
1 goal 3, his return thus far. It's coming back. It might be the sealer. Franklin with his second. That came back well.
Well, I defy anybody to say that the Kangaroos haven't worked hard. I think they're really working to the nth of their energy supplies, but they just haven't got the talent right now to match it with a better quality sides in the competition. And we know about the athleticism and the talent base that the Hawks are putting together. They're not an experienced group, but they have played a really good brand of footy in this second half when they were able to free themselves up, get a few more one-on-one contests and expose the Kangaroos for a lack of speed around the ground.
6 of the last 7 goals now for the Hawks, who trailed at half-time by 10 points. 23 to the good and finishing full of running. Boyle at full stretch. Couldn't grasp it. Gibson wins a free kick for a high one. Elects to go quickly. Sainsbury. Harvey, look out. Boyle closing. Harvey, always elusive, slips away. Kicks inside 50, but Gillen too good.
He's growing, Danny, as a player.
He certainly is. He makes the right decisions, Jared. He's a great user of the ball. He knows all the angles. And above, first and foremost, he defends well.
And the rebound now from the Hawks is good. Hodge through the centre corridor, delivering to Franklin, but wide of him. Gibson is there for the Kangaroos to Watt. Got to keep on pursuing. Coming up on the halfway mark of this final term. Edwards now. Petrie's run a long way to present inside 50. Hale there, doubling back and forth. Edwards going to Petrie. Too far out to score. Important ball here. Lead is on, short and wide by Hale. Well, they don't get much out of that. And the Hawks will be able to steady. Birchall just bounces away. And the bounce is not going the Kangaroos' way. Young to Osborne, inside 50, McGlynn.
He's been terrific since coming on the ground, McGlynn. He's been everywhere in the second half. He's had his 15 possessions. It's knee-high to a grasshopper, but gee, he runs hard.
And the setup from Osborne was good. And now the 21-year-old, originally from Wentworth and the Bendigo under-18s and Box Hill, was the last pick in a rookie draft of 2005. He's done it the hard way, Ben McGlynn, and he's delivering now. Perseverance pays off. And the Hawks are apparently on their way to 2 wins in a row.
It's a great story, Clinton. Just keep at it and at it. And the guy at the other end as well, Gillen. He was at Port Adelaide for a couple of years. It didn't work for him. Come over here to Hawthorn last year, played the last 4 games last year. So it's great to see these youngsters step up. And that, coupled with the fact they've got Crowd out, Bateman, Clark, their skipper Vandenberg and Smith. There's some positive signs here for the Hawks.
That's the worry for the Kangaroos. Only Harding and Thompson, you would say, are the first team players that aren't playing, and a raft of Hawks. And yet it's the better part of a 5-goal lead. And I think that's why Dean Laidley, there's that look right now. 7 of the last 8 goals going Hawthorn's way. Might be more to come. McGlynn caught, ducked the head. Wells the tackle, holding the ball.
You ducked into it.
He must have tackled low to duck. If he's ducked and he's still got him around the head, he must have went low with his arms.
Here's Wells going for Swallow. Can they get a target inside 50 to take a mark? Gee, they're making the big man work, aren't they? And Hale's brought down. Campbell-Brown knocking it for Birchall. It's over for a boundary throw-in. 29 points the margin. Alistair Clarkson, Damien Hardwick, Todd Viney and company. A little more content now. They've got the rampaging Geelong in Launceston next Sunday on Fox Sports. in what shapes as a terrific match. Young can go all the way if he chooses. Elects to kick quickly inside the 50. They're presenting themselves well, but too exuberant there, the Hawks collide. And Gibson for Sinclair on the counter-attack. Crosses midfield, goes long down the middle, waiting at the back. Harvey, if he gets a kind bounce, he'll be away. Has to work hard. Tight angle. Beamer can't finish.
Danny, we saw 4 Hawthorn players there lead for the one ball. And when Young went onto his left foot, it was pretty obvious where it was going to go. They've got to get a little bit better at isolating and working for each other, because there should have been a block for somebody there.
You're right, because Boyle led into the spot early, and I think the deep forwards had to be aware that he was the guy floating in. They just had to stay back. Because if they can keep that forward line isolated one-on-one, they're going to be very dangerous.
31 marks to 9. 32 marks to 9 in the final quarter. McGlynn going short. They're controlling the tempo. Sewell to half forward, stretching Williams. Ferrito to Wells. They've kicked just 7 goals for the match. The Kangaroos, they need 5 in a hurry. Oh, Hale very high. Should be okay if it sits for Sainsbury, because he's got Petrie over the top. Short ball. A goal was apparently beckoning. In the end, it's taking a Campbell rushed kick that bends its way back for a terrific finish. First goal in AFL footy from Matt Campbell.
We've got to like the way he goes about it, Jerry. He's got good leg speed, and I think you've just got to keep playing this young fellow. He's been hard at it. His tackling pressure is terrific. His work rate's been first class. And as I said, he's got a good set of wheels, and that was a great little front and square goal there.
He's got good hands too. He's a number of times today shown that he can keep his vision under severe pressure. And he came onto the list as a rookie, I think at the expense of Harding, who
season-ending knee injury.
Had the injury. And it's good to see too, because he showed a bit in the NAB Cup, and on the bigger stage, he's only going to get better as this club gets better. And that'll be the thing I think the Kangaroos have to do over the next 2 or 3 years. Just start building and start recruiting athletes, because at the moment they're too lumbering.
Is Chris Judd an athlete?
Yes,
Would be a handy way to start.
It would be a fair coup, Quinton, but the chances you would expect a minimum.
Whether it's Chris Judd or someone else, Graham Duff saying they're only paying 92.5% of the salary cap, the minimum right now, so they've got money to spend going forward. Swallow to the outer wing. Campbell, good hands in front of Guerra.
Well, I think they should spend it on recruiting and developing their recruiting base and their expertise, because one player isn't going to fix the Kangaroos, guys.
Edwards, can he keep his feet? There a chance here. Over the top. Hale's going to run in. Should make it back-to-back goals. The big man snips and delivers another one. And there's a pulse. They're back to within 16 points with 6 minutes to go.
Well, it's a copy look at last week's game, Clinton, against Port Adelaide. They kicked some points early in the game, and all of a sudden they got a sniff. So just got to take the most of their opportunities. They may rue. I'm not sure whether they'll win this game of footy, but they'll rue those 2 points early in this last quarter. But you've got to hand it to Hale. Look, he hasn't had the best of nights, but his work rate, you can't deny him. Look, it was a great play from Edges there at ground level. His second effort was first class, and that was a good snap goal there from Hale.
A very important centre clearance looms now. On the verge of ticking into time on. A restless Alistair Clarkson. Suddenly this game that seemed apparently theirs for the keeping. A little bit more work is required. 6 minutes to go. 3 goals needed. Petrie to contest with Taylor. Taylor for Mitchell. Does very well. Cool in a potential crisis. Sewell to Guerra. Goes long, and Dixon's got the mark. It's a push-out.
He knew straight away, Dixon, if he had his time over again, all he had to do was clench his fist or use his forearm there.
Well, the kick is a wobbler. But Ferrito keeps it alive. Watt caught. Good pressure. Sainsbury trying to get it on. Franklin now on the wing. Boundary throwing. Another look at the push from Dixon. It was there. Time on last quarter. Campbell getting rid of Petrie.
And I reckon people around the country are asking if it works in March, why doesn't it work?
Holding the ball.
And just off camera, we've had Drew Petrie fall
And Campbell.
but there was a big push out in that ruck.
Here's Campbell, loose man in the middle. Oh, Wells was, Sainsbury's buffeted it. Got it to Swallow, goes inside the forward 50. Kangaroos go down, no free kick. Osborne did well, got it onto Birchall with a bit of urgency now. Ladson goes back, Jacobs takes the mark, and they've got men on the outer side with Mitchell. Inside of 5 minutes to play. They needed something from that attack inside 50. Mitchell's running. He's had 4 bounces. 75 out. Still going. Thumping long kick. Mark Williams the target. Pratt did well. Battery throw.
Rowan, you might be able to find out if you can from the doctor, the Kangaroos, what the problem with Shannon Grant is, because he's had a fairly average night tonight, and I'm not sure he's had much game time in the second half.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Jared. I suppose every time he goes to the ball, he's getting a bad bounce. Just before he was inside 50 all on his own, and the pass went over his head. So I just think he's having one of those nights.
Okay.
Margin 16 points. 4:26 to play.
Haven't been able to find him at all today, Shannon Grant. He's just not been able to find the footy.
Boyle dumped by Sinclair. Gee, brought it back in. He's gone. That's a good call.
Tigger, you dragged that in, mate. You dragged it in. Now give it back. Leroy, you got the footy, Leroy.
And they're away again. This is Harris. Should be able to peel off the taller Campbell, and does. Sinclair from the wing. Down the line he goes. Hale takes the mark. Now, big kick this. Can he find a target inside 50? It's Edwards. He's a goal kicker, but he's a long way out. Would have to kick at 55 from a tight angle. Is he going to have a crack? It would be a super team lifter. Time is running. He's going to take on the man on the mark, but he was awake up to that was Gillum. Edwards to the top of the square.
Oh, Brownie.
Campbell Brown.
He's an absolute beauty, isn't he?
He's got a severe cramp as well in the calf. And
Let's have a look at the way he launches himself here. That is power personified. That vertical leap from a standing start. Have a look at that.
no wonder he got a cramp.
Oh, it's magnificent.
Jet propelled.
Oh, his kicks. Well, let him down, it's fair to say. He's put it out on the fall.
Well, it's the best in the books around here.
Look, Hodge, Mark's out.
Well, in future they'll only replay the mark, Campbell, fear not. Well, it opens the door again, doesn't it? If they get a goal here, they've got 3 minutes to get 2. Now Wells, it's not 15. Oh, boys, get out the measuring tape there, the Kangaroos. They should have known that was very short. Ferrito getting the handball on. Sainsbury, high one inside the 50. Can Brown or someone else do it? Edwards with the big leap. Franklin got it to McGlynn. Look out, Osborne, you're gone. Simpson follows it up. To the goal square. Hale! Oh, was he off? Was he off? No! He'll go back and make it a 10-point game. You would think. Don't waste too much time, David. The clock is running here. Surely he's got to be aware of the time clock. You've got to be quicker than this, Danny.
You're spot on here, Clinton, because it's not a difficult shot. Just go back and just put it straight over the goal umpire's hat and say, boys, we need the next centre bounce.
The 25 seconds crucial. He completes the formalities. We're down to 2:13. Stop it now. 10 points the margin, 2:13 to go.
To be fair to Hale, though, he would have had fresh in his mind a bloke who missed one in the first match from about the same time out rushing the ball and kicking it, over-kicking it. But anyway, they have found a little bit here, the Kangaroos. Maybe the Hawks have taken the foot off the pedal a bit, but the Kangaroos have found a little bit more juice. And that's where I think he needs to play, Danny, closer to the goals. If you're going to keep a lumbering bloke out there, a little bit closer to the goals.
It'll be interesting to see we see the Hawthorn runner running out to the Hawthorn forwards to say, boys, we need to get behind the ball and ice the clock if we get a possession.
Yep, they only really need one controlled possession here, the Hawks, and they can slow it down. Ferrito, can he get it out? Dangerous McGlynn, you're wrapped up. Ball held in, clock will stop. 2:04 to go.
Well, what about the matchup with Hale?
Yeah, well, I think Grant Birchall has got his priorities wrong at this point of time. He's wanting to run off and create, and Hale, not being the most athletic person in the AFL, is just sitting in the goal square.
McGlynn for Young. Worked his way through an opening. It was terrific stuff. Goes long inside the 50. Pratt goes to ground. What? They're under siege here, the Roos. Look at the Hawk jumpers everywhere. A goal to finish it off. Williams down to Crawford, who slipped over.
On the left.
Franklin for the sealer. Thank you and good night. Franklin gets his third of the second half. And they'll breathe a little easier in the Hawks coach's box.
Interesting moment there, Danny, where we have one Hawk, we have the Kangaroo on the ground, and you see all the Hawks keep their feet, the ball bobbled out, and then they were off to the races.
Yeah, especially when you see Lance Franklin. That's his hunting ground. Left foot to the boundary line.
Yep.
They were always in danger there. He's kicked his last 2 goals from that exact spot, and it's been a good game, good second half from the Hawks. I'll take a lot of confidence out of this, because in the first game of the year, Brisbane, they stifled them. They looked all at sea in the first 15 minutes, but they obviously learned from that from round 1. They just went in the corridor and took the opposition on.
A deflating experience for Dean Laidley. After 3 goals in 8 minutes, the Hawks steady. And Birchall. Wow, he's loaded up the talk there. Deep to the attacking zone. Franklin, one of those players that has genuine buzz and excitement about the crowd when he goes near the football.
Rowan Osborne coming from the ground. He's had a pretty good afternoon, evening.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And Jordan Lewis has come back on the ground, and he's probably nearly the best man on the ground at the moment.
McIntosh waiting for it. The acting captain to close the door. Sam Mitchell celebrates. The Hawks will be the 10th AFL club to reach 2 wins and 1 loss after 3 rounds this season.
Well, the acting captain, you talk about Jordan Lewis being close to best on the ground. Well, this man's just about done it all. When you look at the stats board, 33 disposals, 11 of those contested. We see here just a great tackle again from Lance Franklin there, and Mitchell just run under it, had the awareness to kick it through, but also 7 clearances, 10 handball receives, 5 inside 50s and 1 goal. You'd have to say a great captain's game.
Getting excited. The brown and gold army, the applause for Lance Franklin, who takes a break. With the match in the books, a minute to go. Campbell the hit out. McGlynn's worked hard. Sinclair sharks it, loose man at half forward waiting for it. Simpson, Green, Simpson lines it up. The captain from 45 with a helicopter kick. Touched off hands for a behind. (13-13) playing 10-10 as Sam Mitchell finishes the game strongly. The leading ball winner with 33. So the Kangaroos will be no wins and 3 losses, joining Richmond, Melbourne and Fremantle as the winless clubs after 3 rounds.
Mark's there.
Melbourne playing Fremantle next week.
Yep,
Clinton.
So one of those clubs, finalists last year, premiership contenders this year,
with me, Michael.
are going to be without a win after the opening month of the season.
Play on!
A lot to look out for, a lot of intrigue surrounding the start of this AFL season. There are a lot of grim faces at Hawthorn after their first round loss to Brisbane. But back-to-back wins have the brown and gold army excited. They prevail by 21 points on Sunday Night Football. points down at half-time, but a 5-goal, 6-2 third quarter set up the victory. Mark Williams with 4. Lance Franklin was terrific, kick 3. Harvey and Hale 2 each for the Kangaroos, or Norton 3.
Well, great signs there, Jared, for the Hawthorn Footy Club. 5 of their better players out, and they're full of run. Mitchell, I think, led the way. I thought great move from Alistair Clarkson at the start of the third quarter. They couldn't buy a goal in the first half. Open up their forward line by putting Mitchell and Crawford on the half-forward line, then go onto the ball after the centre bounce. It really did open it up for their forwards. And, of course, their back line did a great job as well, keeping the Kangaroos to 10 goals.
Sam Mitchell with 33 touches, 11 of them contested ball 1. Here he is with Rowan.
Sam, acting captain tonight, boys are throwing you a ball. Very important to go 2-1 this evening.
Yeah, good to get ahead of the ledger, especially after the way we started. You know, we always were going to be pumped last week, and it was, you know, really step forward for us being able to do it 2 weeks in a row.
The rotations through the midfield, allowing yourself and Croft to go up forward. Jordan Lewis and Hodgie in the middle were terrific tonight.
Yeah, we got a good balance now, inside, outside players, and being able to play a few different positions gives us that real versatility we probably haven't had for the last couple of years.
What did you speak about at half-time? Because you come out a different side after half-time.
Yeah, we just had to back ourselves, take a few more risks. We started to play back within ourselves and go for the safe option, and we don't play good footy, as you probably saw in the first half. We play much better when we're running and taking the game on, and occasionally we're going to turn it over, but, you know, we can score doing that.
Sam, congratulations. Go and enjoy the win, mate.
Thanks, Vic.
And I think that was the pivotal point, Danny. We saw the worst of Hawthorn in round 1, where they basically tried to make no mistakes. Well, this isn't a game about making no mistakes. It's about having blokes backing up if you do. And great to see Jordan Lewis having a big game. When he first came into the competition, wasn't sure he was going to have the athleticism to do what he has done. But today he can rack up a near-on best on ground. And a very fine asset they are now building with his improved form. But when they do take it on, when they run from the back half and they get it in and back their talented forward line, they do kick a winning score.
More from Danny in a moment. Back down to Rowan.
Brad, another job for you tonight on Shannon Grant, and you did the job again last week, Travis Johnson, and you did it again tonight.
Yeah, that was good. He sort of got away from me a couple of times there. He's such a good user of the ball, give him a little bit of space and cut you up pretty easily.
How do you do that during the week? Do you prepare? Do you watch videos on the opposition?
Yeah, I watched sort of a couple of these games the last few weeks and try and pick up little bits here and there.
What do you do? Do you try and get off him? Obviously, you've got to do a job on him, but you've also got to hurt him on the scoreboard the other way.
Yeah, a little bit. Try and sand him early a little bit, I guess. And then go from there and try and get a couple of touches myself.
Well done, mate. Go and enjoy the win.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks, Rowan.
Yeah, look, you've got to hand it to Alistair Clarkson. He talked about pre-game, about coaching themselves. I think they learn a lot from round 1. You do learn a hell of a lot from your losses. I think you learn more from your losses than your wins. And the way they use the ball through the middle of the ground, we heard Sammy Mitchell say we took the opposition on through the middle. We didn't care whether we made a mistake, but we just wanted to take the opposition on.
The club president, the former premier, was pretty happy singing along to the song. So's the coach. The Hawks have won 2 in a row. 13-13 to 10-10, our final on Sunday Night Football.